This is Jordan Grace, and you're listening to the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
BWB, this is One Nation Radio. You better get it right. Rich Latta, James Boyd came to give them life. The Blackest Wrestling Podcast has come to kick all ass and drop it 6 feet if they kicking trash. Word, let me welcome y'all to something different. And if you dig it, man, you should let some friends listen. We be getting it in, this on the regular dude. Ravish and flow, but this shit rude. See, James don't rap, so I had to break it down. The whole network, man, we coming for the crown. Raps in the columns, I keep them both covered. Making the beats too, so the listeners can bump it. Hit us with the rating, yeah, I'm saying it's a 5. Before you hit it, talk, bob your head side to side. It's One Nation Radio, and this is the beginning. It's Rich, and I'm here with James. It's time to listen to One Nation.
We got to unleash the power of the pyramid.
This is Mike Sempervive from WrestlingObserver.com. Check me out on Wrestling Observer Live every day. And also check out your boys, Rich and James, on One Nation Radio.
Hi, this is Kenny Omega. We're listening to One Nation Radio. Check it out, guys. These guys know what's up. Big Kenny Omega fans, and that's all that counts to me. Goodbye and good night. Thanks.
Hey, folks. Welcome to this week's edition of One Nation Radio. I'm James Warner. Me, I'm Rich Latta. What's going on, man?
Chilling, man. Just here ready for another great episode of One Nation Radio. What's going on with you, man?
Not too much. Shoshi got a lot of stuff. Some stuff is going to stick. I think some stuff is going to be some, drive-by type of stuff. But yeah, man, where do you want to start?
Yeah. So Team USA. Okay. So when I talk about Team USA, we talked about the women's national team a couple weeks ago.
Yes, we did.
But now we're going to talk about the men's national team.
You don't want to turn this into a time to get little side swipes about Caitlin Clark and then move on to it? You don't want to do that? You don't want to do that?
What do you mean?
You pause it. I mean, I feel like we talk about Caitlin Clark off air like every fucking day.
Bro,
like we haven't talked about an athlete like this I can't remember how long.
She got the juice,
bro. It's the algorithm. The algorithm says it's a shit because we be seeing the W stuff and like, bro. All I see is like, at least on my timeline, I see lots of Las Vegas Aces, Asia Wilson, and Caitlin Clark nonsense. That's all I see. That's a lot of what I see when it comes to WNBA. Like, are there more than 4 teams in the WNBA? Apparently not according to my damn timeline. Like, I ain't seen not one mention of the Dallas Wings that don't involve that doesn't involve the Fever or the Aces. Mm-hmm. Do they play any other teams? Seattle Storm, never seen some unless they play the Aces or they play the Fever.
Nah, you know who I'd never really seen and they're a good team? Minnesota. I don't see shit about them.
Same. The Lynx, like, yeah, like I've seen more about Allison Feely when she was at Utah than she was. Now she's in the fucking W amongst this rookie class. Yeah,
right.
It's crazy. But I go ahead. Unless you got something, like I think we've talked about enough WNBA talk more than.
I actually got it on the sheet later.
Oh, you got the sheet? Because I would say, like, bro, I feel like there needs to be a Josh Smith for basketball for us where it's like, enough, talk about the men. y'all talk more about Caitlin Clark in the fucking finals.
Hey,
what about men's basketball?
Look, greater than, this sorry NBA finals they rolled out there this year.
You know what it was? You know what ruined it? Rudy Gobert ruined it. The Timberwolves and knocking out the Nuggets ruined it all because it made it so much less interesting. When it's like, man, Jokic approaching like top 15, and then it just he balled. The rest of his teammates cut him off from getting the top 15 after this year. So yeah, NBA free agency, nah, we ain't gonna talk about it. We getting straight to the Olympics.
Yeah,
I guess.
So I guess we should tell everybody who's on the roster that's unfamiliar, but okay. I will go in alphabetical order. We got Bam Adebayo, center for the Miami Heat, Devin Booker, guard for the Phoenix Suns, Steph Curry, Golden State Warriors, AD, Anthony Davis, Laker, Kevin Durant, obviously Olympic legend, Phoenix Sun, Anthony Edwards, first-time Olympian, Timberwolves, Joel Embiid, first-time Olympian, Philadelphia 76ers.
First time on Team USA.
Well, I welcome him. Tyrese Halliburton, first-time guard for the Indiana Pacers. Drew Holiday back for another Olympic team from the Boston Celtics, and of course, fresh off an NBA championship. LeBron James, of course, Los Angeles Lakers. Kawhi Leonard, I believe his first Team USA action for the LA Clippers, and Jason Tatum.
Is it his first
Boston
Olympics?
Celtics?
He was on the 16th. No, because he was hurt.
Nope. Jimmy was there instead.
Okay, that's right.
So I look at this team, and there's like a lot of high expectations for this team. Are they better than the 92 Dream Team? Are they better than 08, 2012, different stuff like that? I haven't really thought about it like that, but like, I don't know. I'm looking at this roster, and it looks phenomenal on paper when you see the names, right?
Yeah.
I was talking to you the other day about like different lineups I would put together because like on the low, and not even really on the low, it is like, yeah, man, these guys are old. Like, and we're not just exactly.
That's why the East won the All-Star game last year.
Yeah, and it's like we're not just rolling these guys out and the world's just going to lay down like that. Yeah. We only have so many first-time Olympians to get people in here. Like, personally, I wouldn't have wasted a spot on Kawhi Leonard. Like, it was like, hey, man, you could have been played for Team USA, but, if you're getting back healthy now, he wasn't healthy during the season, I would have tried to get somebody younger in the mix. I don't know. But I think, looking at it top to bottom, this is an older team, and there are concerns with rotations, I think. But overall, I think they should win, the gold medal. We'll probably run into France if I had to guess, but I see a starting lineup of all the old guys, and I'm just like, I think there's potential for us to get caught slipping, especially we know the guys that go crazy against the USA, just your average run of the mill NBA player. But I would think about doing a starting lineup like Curry, like Drew Holiday. So at least we got somebody in the backcourt, because the Olympic Games, it's a lot of guard play. Then they got to figure out that forward rotation and whoever's starting between Embiid and Davis. So I don't know.
I imagine that it's going to be a starting lineup of something, or I know forward slots. I feel like I know forward slots. It's the three. It's Durant, LeBron, and Steph Curry, and then I imagine AD is going to get a start over Embiid because of the versatility of being able to deal with guards defensively, and also to be the rim run, lob threat, screen roll guy, as opposed to what Embiid's game at its best mostly is. That doesn't really jive well with international play.
And he's already got a gold medal.
Yeah, because he was on the 12 team. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, as far as that second guard slot, I mean, it's going to be, I imagine it's going to be either Tatum or, I mean, I guess you could do Ant, but I think it's going to be Tatum. But, I just think that, there's plenty of things they could do with that guard slot. I mean, I feel like they have filled this team out very well as far as the what they have as far as big wings, as far as what they have at guard, and flat out having some handcuff measures in place to for old Steph Curry, right? Steph Curry was never a great defender to begin with, a great individual defender to begin with, on ball defender, and it's all right. Well, we'll also have Drew Holiday here. We'll also have Jason Tatum here. They have size at wing. So, I wish, and they have the three bigs. So, I think that's fine. And then when you have someone like KD and LeBron around, you have people that can play power forward international ball. So, that's fine. KD, LeBron's effectively been in power forward international play.
Even center before.
Yeah. In some of those, third lineups and stuff. So yeah, I think I like the team. I don't have the concerns you do as far as the age, because like if it comes down to it, they'll bench him and put in like Kawhi Leonard, Anthony Edwards, Booker. Yeah, like, you know, and Booker's also a good defender too. So like, not a great defender, but a good defender. So like, yeah, I think that like, it just comes down to like, are people gonna, you know, they play, they have the practices, and they figure it out from there. And then, you know, outside of the three people that are locks to start and get their minutes, like, it's figuring out how people are gonna fit in. Like, I saw Anthony Edwards, I saw the quotes, and it was like, I'm the best player on the team. And then I saw the video. I was like, okay, he was joking. He's not serious. Because like, it's one thing you read the quote, you're like, oh no, this could go bad. And it's like, and then you see him doing a smile. It's like, okay, he fucking around. Like, he realizes he's joking around. So like, I think that like, this team can be really good. How do I think it compares to like the 2012 team or the 08 team or the 92 Dream Team? I think just because of the age of the superstars, I think that I would take the other teams.
I was going to say, I felt like historically, like looking at the older guys that are on this, there's some similarities to like the 96 team. Like there's like, you know, now when they had Olajuwon, they had Barkley, Pippen, and freaking Robinson, shit like that. So like, and we've got, you know, like 4 or 5 guys that are just like old as hell in here. And, you know, it's like, yeah, 40-year-old LeBron James is still the face of like the Olympic program or whatever. It's like, usually he would have moved on or whatever.
Really? He hasn't played since 2012.
Like he comes back.
I guess he is based off of stardom, sure.
Yeah. And how they, you know, rolled this thing out. LeBron James and Steph Curry are getting together the Avengers, you know, like all that shit. So it's like I worry about it going forward, because obviously this is going to be his last Olympics. Like, I don't think the fuckery is going on much longer.
I mean, what do we say? No, because what was it? When's the TV money come in? 27 or 28? You know,
I'm not sure. Somebody look up when the new CBA kicks in. Or
when that new money
is it the new the new TV deal kicks in.
Yeah,
sorry.
Whenever the new TV deal comes in and the money explodes, I think he's going to get one last year.
He's going to try to get 1 year
out of there. So I don't know if that extends to 4 more years, but if it do, he'll be there. Yeah. And he'll play in the Olympics again, sure.
But it's like, you know, I only see Ant Edwards like is like the true youth in this thing. Or Tatum too. You know, Tatum will probably come back for another one.
Yeah, Tatum, and then Brown will be in the next set. You know, too. Now my thing is like, how are we gonna work on this citizenry for Victor Wembanyama? How are we gonna work on that over the next 4 years? Like, do we need? Is it an NIL situation?
I'm saying, like, I look at it and I'm like, I feel like this is the last time we're gonna go in there and like be like, yo, we really don't have too much to worry about after this. It's Wild West time, man. Like, and it's like Canada's coming. France is right there. We know how they get down. Spain's not good no more. Argentina's not, you know, good no more. But, you know, it don't feel like no laydowns out here.
Yeah.
Australia's always there.
Yeah. Well, who's their best player?
You know, I don't know if Patty Mills is still playing for them.
I don't know if he is. I don't know if Exum's on the team. Like, Delhi's barely hanging on in the league if he's still in there. I think I saw him on the bench somewhere last season, but I don't remember this year. Yeah, man. So they might be down this year, but like I think France gonna be really good. Nigeria's obviously they're good. And then I'm trying to think of like, no, Luka's team got eliminated, right? Luka's not.
They got eliminated.
Yeah, Luka's not in.
They should stone him, throw rocks at him, embarrass his country.
He embarrassed his country. I mean, he did. You know, when Windhorst told us he did, we didn't know.
Oh, Brewhaven was saying, "Wow." Oh, I firmly feel about that. If the Americans don't bring home the gold, throw rocks at them, stone them.
No, well, He doesn't mean that literally, but he means like, yeah, they should be disgraced because obviously, like, you say, hey, who are the best basketball players in the world? And it's like, all right, how many are on Team USA? At least 6 of them. That team is more talented than any of the teams. Like, this ain't no year where it's like 2004, where it's like, you look at so many of the best players in the world right now are like getting married or changing teams or going through weird cases. Like, this is a situation where, like, they should absolutely win, just like every other year outside of the weird, like, disaster that was 2004.
Treat them like it's Mecca.
Oh my God, treat them like it's Mecca.
Ready to see the all light skin lineup in this thing. So all
right, so Anthony Davis, Steph Curry, Halliburton, Tatum, and who else?
Book. So I had Curry, Book, Halliburton, Tatum, and AD.
Yeah, that's the same 5. Yep. Okay, yeah, so you got Tatum playing power forward. That's nasty.
Yeah.
That's nasty.
Yeah. Ready to see the light skin squad,
Oh man, that's a lot to ask for Tatum and AD on that back line to defend. That's a lot. That's a lot. You asking a lot because Halliburton isn't a great defender. He's like. People say he's a bad defender. I watch him like, he's fine, but he's just fine. Nothing. He's an average NBA defender, period. He's not bad. He's not awful. He's not good. He's not great. He's average. But then you throw an AD there and then you throw in Book and it's like in that situation, Book's playing small forward. He's a damn combo guard. That's a tough ask. That's a tough ask.
Oh, man. But yeah, I'm pretty confident.
Lineup though.
Yeah, I mean, let's do the dark skin lineup.
Okay, Embiid, LeBron. I mean
Durant.
I mean, you can do that if you want to.
Drew Holiday. Look, Drew Holiday got to be in it.
Yeah, Drew Holiday's definitely starting on that. Yeah, but I was gonna say, like, do you want to do like traditional? Look, do you want to do the dark skin lineup only in like terms of NBA or international ball right now, or a traditional dark skin lineup where I put Bam Adebayo at power forward and with LeBron at small forward and play big as hell and bully niggas?
I love it.
Because we can do that. Look, Anthony Edwards at shooting guard, and then you put Drew as point guard. Oh, that's boy. Good luck scoring. Good luck.
Yep.
The only points being scored is at the foul line.
Yeah, or the rim. Because
he might hit you one of them chicken wings. Oh boy.
Overall, though, I am pretty confident in this team should win the gold. Don't think we got too much to worry about, but if we do, I will be on here furious. This is the only time I get to root for LeBron altruistically.
Wow. While he's on your team, that's hilarious. And won a title on your team, that's hilarious. So yeah, I'm looking at it right now, and somebody made a great point. We're not talking about Team Canada. Like
I said Canada. They're coming.
Sorry. Is Jamal Murray playing?
I don't know because I think his contract situation is up in the air. I think with the Nuggets,
like Team Canada. There's been a lot of good Canadian basketball players over the last few years that are in the league now. Like there's Jamal Murray, you got Andrew Wiggins. Like they got a number of NBA players. A number.
Shea.
Shea. Yep. I forgot who was on. Yeah. They have a great backcourt if they're playing. And there are other people I'm forgetting, just straight up forgetting right now.
Pulling them up right now.
I'm like, damn, I forgot he was Canadian.
Wiggins is Canadian.
Yep. Okay, he might have aged out. I don't know.
So here we go. Oh no, hold on. Let me find the roster.
Yeah, right RJ Barrett.
Yeah.
Or they call that man Maple Mamba.
Yeah, the Maple Mamba.
Whew, boy. Is that the Isaiah Ryder of Mamba comparisons?
That's great. Or Harold Miner of you remember Baby Jordan.
Yeah. There was a lot of them. Oh yeah, Lou Dort. Lou Dort's Canadian.
Lou Dort's. Yep.
I don't know if he's on the team, but like there is a wealth of NBA players from Canada right now.
Basketball roster. Dylan Brooks.
Oh yeah, he is Canadian. Did they put him on the team though? Because
I'm pretty sure because like he won the he was in it last time.
That's right. Okay. He played well.
Yeah. He? Okay. So damn, that's the camp. Why the fuck can't I get like the roster? Just give me the roster, guys. That's all I want. As I look this up, here we go, guys.
King of North says Steve Nash.
Stupid. All right, I got it.
He might be the coach.
Or nah, you know what he might be? He might be the director, like Jerry Colangelo or some shit.
Oh God, yeah.
So
Speaking
we got
of Colangelo, look, more Nepo babies.
Yep. So we got Nikhil Alexander Walker from Timberwolves.
Yep.
RJ Barrett, Trey Bell Haynes, don't know who that is. Kem Birch, don't know who that is. Dylan Brooks, Lou Dort, Melvin Elgin, Shea Gildas Alexander. They got some new the African name right here is like Mifuandu Khan Bengele or something like that.
Okay.
Butchered it. Trey Lyles, Jamal Murray, Andrew Nembhard, Kelly Olynyk, he'll get dirty. Dwight Powell, Thomas Scrub, and Phil Scrub.
Hey man, that's quite a number of notable NBA players.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine they got out of group play with that like backcourt talent and also with like the defensive talent in the wings. Like, hey man, do we need to make sure that like Dylan Brooks between Lou Dort and Dylan Brooks that like no one gets hurt in them Canada games? Like, cause Lou Dort ain't dirty, but he rough as hell.
Look, gotta keep them away from LeBron and Durant. Make sure, like, hey, man, stay away from their legs. Steph, stay away from his ankles, please. Do not roll up on this man. But one other thing in the NBA, Klay Thompson departed the Golden State Warriors after I don't know 13 years. Am I mistaken?
What draft was he in?
11. 12 years, 13 years.
I mean, 13 seasons.
Yeah, so like it's the end of an era. The dynasties, these guys finally kind of got to the end of the line, and I think this is why Bob Myers ultimately, he got out a couple years early because he was avoiding this very day, essentially. Yep.
It will not be put on me that I let Klay Thompson or Steph Curry leave as a Golden State Warrior. It won't be on my resume.
I would have never let that happen if I was a Warrior. I would have been like, yo, we're riding it till the wheels fall off. They love this team, like, and they deserve to go out together or whatever. But if you're not gonna pay somebody, like, you don't pay Draymond, you don't not pay Klay. I don't care, like, whatever decline Klay has been through, the stuff between his camp and the Warriors, going back, people were trying to blame size and all that. I'm like, nah, man. Like, I think of the Splash Brothers as like an iconic pairing. Like, I think of them as Dumars and Isaiah Thomas. It's like, I don't want to see them like, I don't want to see Klay have to end his career in Dallas, like, essentially away from them. You never know, he could come back or whatever when he's, for like 1 year or whatever, like one of those old man contracts or something. Mm-hmm. But nah, man, like, I always wanted to see Steph and Klay go out together, even if, Klay had to go to the bench. But, it's a tough business. We know kind of what it is, like, as far as like, he went through some horrific injuries back to back.
It robbed him of his late prime. Like, given the skills he had before he tore his ACL and blew out his knee in 2019 finals, he was going to age beautifully. He was like, just like all the guys are at advanced ages beyond, guys be hanging it up. They're still all-stars. He would have aged beautifully with the height, the shooting ability, the ability to run, and the stamina he had. He was in the part where he was a great defender. He was going to age great. He's going to be an all-star all these years up until now, and it got robbed from him. And like, as a person that was not necessarily the biggest fan of him and some limitations he had offensively inside of that Warrior system, run all that post-split stuff, like, I feel like we got robbed. I feel like we got robbed of Steph's running mate. This is premature because of this happening, because of what happened with his knee and then his Achilles. And like, now Steph is, people want to talk about Draymond. Steph's alone. Steph is by himself. And there is no road, barring something unforeseen and crazy happening, that like this is how it's going to play out. Like we're now almost like in retirement tour for Steph now. Like obviously he's gonna play a number of more years, but like it's gonna look a lot like post 96 Dan Marino and the Dolphins, where it's like all time great, one of the greatest we ever seen, and just not enough help around him while he ages, and like it might go down bad from one final year. I hope not to see that, but like but that's where he is, and like they're out their minds if they trade him. Like it would be a betrayal to like the entire North California area.
That shit would be like trading Gretzky, like for like Oakland.
I was gonna say it's like trading Magic.
Oh, okay.
Like,
yeah.
It's one of those. Like trading Kobe, trading Magic. Like you're in Chicago and you trade Jordan. It's like no, you don't trade the person that like that should have a statue by himself outside. No, that's ridiculous. That is the house that Steph Curry built.
Yeah. The only way you trade Steph Curry is if he asks for it, and I don't think he'll ask for it.
No, my point is he's at that kind of stage where it's like if he asks for it, you tell him no. I'm dead serious. Like, imagine if Kobe, like in 2014, that came back, or I'm sorry, late 2015, like comes back for the last few games after he tears his Achilles, and then like next year, like, yeah, man, it's over. I don't want to play 15 to 16 here. Trade me. No, we gave you that contract. You finna honor that contract.
Put the butts in the seats.
Yeah. Fuck, we gonna do without you?
Yeah.
We'll figure it out once you're gone, but we ain't finna, while you're still playing NBA basketball, nigga. No, you're here. That 30's we finna milk that 30 jersey for forever.
Man. Yeah, like I just have so many fond memories of Klay Thompson, just like, the game 6 Klay stuff is always etched in my mind. Like he's an assassin from the 3-point line, which, is right up my alley. I love their style of basketball. And they just like, it seems like such mismanagement, because like they tell you to do all these things to be a part of the team, and you do them. And then ultimately your ass ends up outside on a cold day, and they send your ass to Dallas, or you taking your ass to Dallas to get your money, because all of a sudden the dollars are dried up. All of a sudden, everybody else has been paid. All of a sudden, they turned Jordan Poole into Chris Paul draft picks and nothing. Like.
I mean, and the sad part is like Jordan Poole is he's a disaster on the Wizards, right?
They gave Andrew Wiggins all that money, which they kind of had to at that time.
Yeah. One thing I will say is like, there's going to be the repercussions for a lot of these teams as far as like, I mean, we're going to see it over the next 5 years with OKC Thunder, right? Like even the teams that have the great futures ahead, they're going to have to make decisions on letting people go in a similar fashion to like how you would see like young NFL teams in contention and loaded with talent, and they have to let one or two pieces go, and you're like, this hard cap shit fucking sucks. You are getting penalized for drafting well or maneuvering well. And in particular, like, bro, the fucking CBA that they agreed to in the players union, like, they have basically legislated a hard cap. That second apron shit, the way people talk about it, and the way that I've seen like the penalties for hitting that second apron is like so penalizing, where it's like, if you keep a good team together and go over the apron for multiple years, like you may as well be making the Paul George trade to the Clippers. It's like that. It's like you're getting draft picks. Your draft picks get slid to the end, to the very last picks of the rounds. You have no mid-level exception. Like it's, like it's hard. And like, you can't trade picks. You can't trade future draft picks out a certain number of years too. Like it's really prohibitive, and it's going to make, and it's not a hard cap, but it effectively is. And it's going to scare some teams off from like trying to really try to compete. And like, even, the last 2 years with like the Nuggets, like getting rid of Bruce Brown And now, like, looking at what the Nuggets look like now, and it's like...
Letting KCP walk.
Let KCP walk. And it's like, are they going to be able to contend again? Have they just sealed, like, Jokic's fate?
Like, did they fuck this up? Like...
And it's like...
It's like you have to give Jamal Murray what he wants at this point, right?
Well,
like,
yeah.
why are they fucking this around?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I think people are really scared. And also, you gotta remember Stan Kroenke's cheap, so that's also part of it. But historically cheap. But yeah, it's you're going to see a lot of teams that we thought could have, competed for multiple titles over multiple years over this run. Like, now just we had a shot, we didn't make it, blow it up. Like, bro, I couldn't imagine, like, if the Celtics hadn't won the title, like, what they would have done. Obviously, they would have had to pay Tatum. There's no way they wouldn't have done. But, like, with Tatum and Brown, with that amount of money, like, they would have cheaped out eventually. They would have done it.
Bro, they're paying everybody, bro. And
it would have been sad because, like, they got lucky this year. If they hadn't got lucky, just because they got lucky this year, or we think they wouldn't have won the title this year, doesn't mean, like, they wouldn't have aged into it because of Tatum and Brown's age and also the pieces around them. They would have been like, all right, Porzingis' contract, get it out of here. Derek White might have been on the block. And that's what a lot of teams have to deal with. Like, they're lucky. They're lucky they got their title. We don't even know if they're gonna get another title. They just won 64 games. They just had an all-time finals or playoff
all-time playoff record. Yeah.
Right. And, like, we don't know if they can compete we don't know if they can compete after next year. That's rough.
Yeah. So WNBA. Enough of talking about the MNBA. Let's get to the W. This whole thing has heated up the Rookie of the Year conversation between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. And I don't know. I don't really have too strong of feelings on it because I kind of want to, like, see more of the season. And, like, I feel like what I've seen from the beginning of the season until now, I feel like it's pretty clear, but I don't know. Like, apparently it's not. Angel Reese has come on very strong the last month.
She has. I think it still is clear. I think that this is a media contrivance. Just to drum up interest. Like, it's like if Scoot Henderson had been good last year. Yeah. Or if like it's more like all right, let's say if Wembanyama was like 10% less good, would they have given it to Chet?
Right.
It's one of those. And it's like, look, man, I get it. I get it. Like, Angel Reese is not being double teamed or being picked up 94 feet.
James, I don't even know if they're game planning for her, James.
No. I'm not getting into that. I'm just saying, like, the part where, like, her scoring has gone up or whatever else, and the rebounding is crazy. She's second. That's fine, but, like, the way people that I see online evaluate this, they're not evaluating this via the amount of game planning that goes into having to guard somebody that can shoot from that range. Like, I've seen people say that gravity is some made up thing. It's like, so you saw Steph Curry win 4 titles over 7 years. It makes 6 finals over 7 years, and you think that this is imagination? You think this is imagination? Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
like,
man.
I look. I saw one tweet from I forgot who it was, but someone that's not a bullshitter, and was just saying, "Hey, if we saw somebody be top 20 in like all 5 major statistical categories, like we would not say this person is not one of the 12 best basketball players in the sport, whatever." And I was like, got a good point. I'm not going to go that far, but, like, you ain't got to go that far because this discussion is about Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Like I'm willing to admit that, like, WNBA basketball is different from NBA basketball because of the level of shooting, the level of athleticism, and changes the dimensions of what's capable on the court, right? I'm willing to admit that. But at the same time, we're seeing somebody change this.
They're going to start changing it.
Well, maybe not even start changing it in that sort of way, but like there's one person that is like singular in the way you have to pay attention to them. It's like, all right, there's Jerry Rice, there's Terrell Owens, there's Marvin Harrison, there's Chris Carter, and then there's this Randy Moss guy that takes it. I know you're going to go ahead. Who
is that third guy that you mentioned?
Harvin Marison.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there's this one guy that can literally just go straight down the field on through safeties and put his hand up before a safety, and like you can throw the ball and like worst case scenario is it's an incomplete ball. Like you throw in double coverage, he'll still come down with it. It's like that changes like you ain't never got to worry about seeing 8 in the box in the run game. There's always gonna be 2 high safeties because they're scared to death of the one guy. That's a whole different level of threat compared to the people that used to be like, oh, Tia, well, he's a better run blocker. Who gives a fuck? Like, I can dictate the numbers in the run game when I need to because I have one guy. The other one, I can't. It's a whole different level of threat.
Yeah. Caitlin Clark's facing full court face guarding pretty much the whole game most of the time. And she can barely substitute out the game. She's playing often 38, 39 minutes in the game. And they had a big win where she got the first triple-double ever.
By a rookie.
By a rookie, yeah. And this was directly after Monica McNutt had went on television and said she's going to evaluate the Rookie of the Year by team wins, among other things.
When I think the Fever had more wins in the win total at the time, I think they just had a better win percentage.
Yeah,
but I mean, I get what she's saying. She's like they're within a game of each other in the standing, so she's going with that. She misspoke, but I get what she was trying to say.
And it's flipped since, and this was like Friday to Monday, so like people are on our ass. Like, what are you talking about? And ESPN is looking funny in the light right now.
Because they're trying to engage conversation because they're looking at the algorithm and be like, this drives traffic, so we have to hit this to talk about it because this is grabbing the ratings.
Yeah,
like,
between like Carolyn Peck, Andrea Carter, Monica McNutt.
How about you talking about that one on FS1? The biggest grifter in all the sports debates, Hawks.
Oh, we'll get to him in a minute.
Okay.
Because there's another, like, obviously, like Jason Whitlock's, on this also.
Oh God.
Who's the actual biggest one? But
he's a race grifter. I'm talking about sports grifter.
But Skip is still analyzing it from a basketball point, and he's not brave enough to because he basically still said, I wouldn't bet Caitlin Clark not winning it, but I would go with Angel Reese.
But he was doing the whole the media will just bow down to Caitlin Clark. That's what he said.
I gotta say, James, it's a lot. I feel like it's a lot easier to find media that is not bowing down to Caitlin Clark than it is. Like I just named 4 people on ESPN, excuse me, I named 3 people on ESPN, and then there's Cheney also, who, if I had to guess, she would probably be, be telling us Angel Reese's Rookie of the Year. Did I say Carolyn Peck as well?
Yeah, you did.
And then there's Rebecca Lobo that's out there who has pretty much called this thing from back in February. People were like trying to send her crazy stuff, and then people were pulling up the old tweets now, and it's pretty funny, man. Like with all this, but I think this is a I think people underestimated both Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. They've come in here.
I mean, the draft underestimated Angel Reese. She was 7th pick. She wasn't even the first pick by her own team.
Right.
I've only seen maybe three or 4 games of her in college. So I had very little to go off of. But I'm often unimpressed by bigs in college on the men's side. So, let alone the women's side, it's going to be the same thing. Bro, you do the same thing. I was like, bro, I thought Anthony Davis was going to be like Super John Henson. Mm-hmm. He turned into a perennial All-NBA player when healthy. I'm just wrong with this stuff. But a lot of it is because, the pro game is, which is weird because like this isn't how it works in any other sport that I'm aware of, but like the pro game is ahead and more advanced than the lower ranks. Like, name me another industry, and that's basketball. Name me another industry where like innovation is from the top down, not the grassroots up. That's not the case in music. That's not the case in football. That's not the case, but that's the case in basketball. Like, pro Euro ball starts out with innovation. It comes to the NBA, and then it eventually gets to college, and then it gets to high school. It's backwards as fuck.
Yeah. I think Caitlin Clark is like got a stat line that no one in league history has had right now. Yeah. I believe there's like there were like the only people that have had rookie seasons like her in the NBA or the WNBA are Magic Johnson and Oscar Robertson. like as far as the stat line, so it's like it's almost like, what are we doing, man? Why are we playing this game?
It's also funny with like the Steph comparison, because like, you know how Steph was always a sneaky good rebounder.
She's an actual good rebounder.
Right! That's what I'm getting at. Like, it's you know, like, we're comparing them, like, this is this person's, like, potential in their respective sport to their respective gender, and it's like, these comparisons keep popping up, and it's interesting. It's just interesting. But yeah, like, what I will say, like, the same comparison I made about, like, but the same comparison I was making about, like, the all those 90s and 2000s great wide receivers, and then there's Randy Moss, like, at the same time, like, Angel Reese, like, I mean, if my comparison point is comparing her to Marvin Harrison or T.O. as far as this, and it's like, that ain't no slight. We talking people that should have been first ballot Hall of Famers, not for stupid fucking voters, right? So like, you know, she's played way better than I thought she was going to, and quite frankly, like, I didn't think Chicago or the Fever were going to be like in the playoff contention. I just didn't. I thought honestly, like, the best case scenario would have been like, this guy would have been some Twin Tower shit with her, Cardoza. But I mean, she's been in and out and unhealthy at times. So like, it's been a lot of Angel Reese, and obviously, you know,
Kennedy Carter.
But yeah, like, they have a bright future, and I think both teams do. And I think that, like, the story for me is like, looking at the start of the season, like, I feel like the Fever, they have grown. They have gotten, their chemistry is so much better together. As the season has progressed, like, and I thought when they first, I was like, oh, this is a dumpster fire.
Yeah,
this is some hot sewage.
Like, how it's
the team now?
How it's kind of come together for them? It was almost like,
why couldn't we get this from Wembanyama?
Like, it's almost like, obviously, like, Caitlin kind of started, and she was the one that had a little like, you know, like she was bubbling, right? Yeah. And then all of a sudden, like, you would start saying, hey, Kelsey Mitchell, she looked like she's coming along now. Yeah. Oh, it looks like Aaliyah Boston is like getting adjusted. Bro,
I mean, that first month was like, what the fuck? Like, I thought she was good. And it's like, okay, that was just a bad month. Adjustment period, learning curve of new role in this newer offense. And like, she's just getting better. And also, like, I feel like they're also getting more touches in her spots than they were at the beginning. They have made concessions like, hey man, you're still learning this part, but we can't just like let our offense or some of the stuff we can do effectively die because we're trying to force you into this thing for you to have to learn. Like, we need to get you in spots because we have to score points. I think they've done better by her by getting her post touches in the later part of the season so far. Yeah.
Melissa Smith has come along. They're still working out a lot of the lineups, like saying who's effective off the bench, and in fact, Benley is around. So I've been getting really into the Fever. I watch, like, I'm in the double digits in games watched, like, of the Fever. So
and meanwhile, since Chelsea Gray has showed up and started playing, remember, you know, the team that we thought they are.
Kelsey Plum is going crazy lately.
They kicking all sorts of ass they haven't lost since she came back, right? Ready 5-0, 4-0?
I think they lost once.
Okay. Yeah, they've been beating people's ass. And like, you know, Asia Wilson, like, the numbers ain't dipped since Chelsea came back. And, you know, Asia was coming in the season. She was bringing the ball up, doing stuff. And it was like, this is some like AD type shit. Like second year AD shit. And it's a lot easier when you get one of the greatest passers of all time. And the women's side back, it helps. It really does. So yeah. What you think? What you think? Like right now, if you had to call it, like who you think we're gonna see in the finals?
It's interesting because
matchups,
the Liberty.
Got to see the matchups.
Yeah, because like I still like. I thought the Sun started the season like really great, but I got a feeling they're gonna fall short on offense somehow. And I don't know what it is, but like, you know, I was looking at how they guard people, and they're a great defensive team.
Right.
Liz Thomas is awesome and great playmaker and all that.
What do you think if they end up running into like because I mean, well, they'll probably won't play each other. They're probably still too far ahead with the Liberty and the Sun. They probably wouldn't face each other until a potential finals, right?
Yeah.
It's got to do with the Aces. That stinks.
Yeah, it still feels like, because it's not by conference.
Right.
So like
enough teams.
Yeah. So like I'm like, man. So like, where does like Seattle fit in? Because Seattle giving people fits too. So
okay.
I don't know, man. Like I feel like the Aces are going to be there just because there's just a dearth of talent there. And you know the Liberty are still have the best record in the league, even if they lost to the Fever. Like could I see someone, you know, catching an upset? Maybe. I don't know. Depends on the matchups, you know. But it's been a very exciting season. I think Caitlin Clark's the Rookie of the Year so far. You know, I don't see that changing, but you know, who knows? John Cena has decided to announce his retirement. And apparently he's going to wrestle all of like next year through WrestleMania until like the end of the year. So he's about to Keiji Muto this shit. Essentially, he's probably going to be available for like 30 or 40 dates.
Is he ending at WrestleMania?
No, he's gonna keep working his way through the whole year.
So at some point they have to build. I mean, if they were smart, they would build towards some big like Boston show for him, right? If they had half a brain cell, right?
I mean, I would just probably do it in the Garden if I was them. Like,
well, I mean, Northeast Corridor, they had to run some special show and try to. I mean, quite honestly, if they were smart, they like just look if Sting in 2004 have a retirement tour and sell out 20,000 tickets, what the fuck can John Cena do? They need to build. They need to book a damn NFL stadium. Run that shit in Foxborough. And look, if it doesn't sell 60,000 tickets,
just lie.
No, I'm saying like you can sell your 50,000 tickets plus. Do that.
Yeah. For me, John Cena's been really retired since I don't know when did I retire John Cena in my mind. I think like
when he proposed to Nikki Bella. You want to say?
Yeah. Yep. Nope. Right there. Okay. When they took him out of the rotation at WrestleMania, essentially they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna leave you with, you and Nikki Bella, and you're gonna fight Miz and Maurice." I was like, "Oh, it's over." Like, so this is not like some emotional thing like, "Oh my God, Cena's done." It's like, no, I made peace with that a long time ago, or whatever. As far as like, you know, what I think John Cena is such an atrocious in-ring performer at this point. Like, it's really bad now. I when I hear 30 to 40 dates, I'm like, why? I feel like less should be more at this point.
Well, here's the thing. I think most of those wrestlers are gonna be house shows. We ain't got to see them.
Yeah.
I mean, also we ain't really got to see them. No, you don't watch WWE like that.
Look,
so
thank the Lord. But yeah, I feel like they're gonna do a Punk match next year if CM Punk can remain upright. I feel think of that. I feel like they got to do John Cena and Randy Orton. I think they should do that at WrestleMania because they've never done it.
That's how you end night one.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. And I think, John Cena got phased down a lot sooner than they thought. At least with Triple H there, maybe there will. He'll probably pick his opponent. Like they're not gonna book him into no bullshit or anything. But
you sure that Baron Corbin won't go out there and then send him home?
I would not be shocked if he faced Baron Corbin sometime next year.
For who? For what?
To fuck
is
with
he
us.
Is he on the main roster? Or is NXT?
I think he's back in the main roster.
Okay. All right. Well, that would explain why Takeover was so good last. Apparently on Sunday.
Yeah. But yeah, John Cena, like, he's gonna work the Royal Rumble, WrestleMania. People are speculating, is he gonna go for 17 and break the record? I'm like, I wouldn't put John Cena near a world title right now, but the belts don't fucking matter. Why not? Who cares?
Well, here's the thing: does that Raw heavyweight title, does that count as a world title?
Allegedly. Allegedly it does.
That'll be it then. That'll be it.
Allegedly it does.
They'll put that bullshit. They'll put that shit on. I'd imagine they'll do that. Cause look, they got it on Damian Priest right now.
Look,
or they had it on Damian Priest.
They're gonna do him and The Rock. Number 3. They gonna do him and he gonna put over the final boss.
Is that the WrestleMania match?
Who knows? Who knows?
Oh man.
Bro, I just got a feeling they're gonna make this into like something weird or whatever, and it's like it's already got off to a weird start too, where John Cena's in the the press conferences ducking and dodging, slipping and hiding. You had the chance to stand on what you said. Don't hide. Stand on what you said. Answer the questions. Yo man, like, hey John, do you expect Vince McMahon to be in attendance at your last match? If so, are you in favor of him being there? Please tell us, John.
Yeah.
That would have been my question.
What was his response? It was someone was like,
I appreciate the courage.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the future.
Well, he was asking about the future. Like, would you like Vincent Kennedy McMahon to be at your future show when you go out? That was a future question. Like, but yeah, man.
No, that's my question. The question they asked him was like, they just basically asked him about the lawsuit. I think they were like, but it's like,
finished. That also,
it was like, because that man was running defense for Vince McMahon and appearing with him in public, hanging with him in public.
Yeah, like, I mean, we didn't have this song then, but Vince got a weird case. Why is he around? Like,
why are you around, Cena? I mean, like, why are you around him?
All bad, man. All this stuff, like, it's weird. With the old
look, Cena's part of that.
Staples of that, because it's like, hey man, like Brock, Undertaker, Orton, like
Rock. Triple H,
like it's Stephanie, like when she showed back up, it's like it's Nick Khan, like it's like, hey
HBK.
man, like people know shit, people know shit, people got dirt, like what's gonna come up if it comes up, it's all bad.
Look, everybody got to get.
It looks like a house of cards.
Everybody got to get their back straight. One team, one set of answers. How we handling this as a family. You notice why Austin don't be coming around. He come around every so often. They're like, hey.
You ever notice like that? We heard that like that slot was for that run was supposed to be for Austin, and Austin didn't show up. And like, I remember Meltzer a few years ago was talking about like Undertaker and like he might have some money issues. You saw Undertaker brought his ass out there. Undertaker, not only did Undertaker show up, he was like, hey, can I do I have to dress up in the bullshit, or can I just be myself? Can I be podcast taker? And that man said, "You be podcast taker." That man showed up in a damn hoodie.
Immediately rolled out there.
Not even the biker. He just showed up in a hoodie and said, "Fuck it." Choke slam. It's amazing. I need this $1 million check. Yeah.
Wow. King of the North, Undertaker and CM Punk both broke. God damn it.
The word about Undertaker being broke was around longer. Remember before he got that new deal. Remember that ambassador deal. That man was finna show up at StarCast.
Yeah, they was like, hey.
Remember when Meltzer was on like there was that when it got announced, like there was a shitty episode of Raw to follow, and then like Vince and then Meltzer were basically like, yeah, man, like
this is like Andre the Giant.
He was like Vince. He said Vince was out of just in disarray because he couldn't believe Undertaker would take other dates. You a fucking showrunner? Your show sucked because a nigga that was on you that you know you spent a lot of time with is going to the other side. Just put the shit on autopilot and let someone else handle the show. Was it? What a fucked up infrastructure we've been watching our whole lives, man.
And like, there is going to be the big Cena celebration, and he's nostalgic for a lot of people. But man, there was a lot of years where I thought John Cena sucked shit.
Same.
And he won me over at a certain point.
Yeah,
but
same here. But
then,
don't get me wrong, he definitely like started having better matches in our tenure in the beginning of O&R era, like over the years, right? But there was still always a part where like it could fall apart, but we appreciate it because like the thing that was impressive about like him getting better was like he was getting better despite the part where he was still always uncoordinated as a performer. It never made sense how someone could be a top guy while being that oafish with footwork and with his hands. But he figured out how to make it work because he gave a fuck. And I'll always give him that. He gave a fuck. He absolutely did.
Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know what they'll do. I guess we'll see what they do and all that. But yeah, they should just throw like a John Cena final show, like create an event for him.
Remember the matchmaking bot account on Twitter?
Yes.
I mean, there'd be a lot of nasty, AEW John Cena matchups right that'd be brewing right now if they had not shut down. It'd been real nasty.
You know, part of me would have loved to see a John Cena and Kenny Omega match. It'll never happen though.
I would not have wanted to see that.
I think it would have been awesome.
I think that Kenny Omega may have broken his neck. They've been like, hey, we're gonna do this X, Y, and Z and fuck around, and John slipped on something. Oh my bad. Oh, dumped on his neck. Fuck.
Stupid.
Oh, another one I would not want to see. Bro, can you imagine John Cena out here trying to base for Will Ospreay?
Get the fuck out of here.
Do you know the number of mistakes that would have happened and mishandled this? Oh, that would have been bad.
You know what the funniest shit about a Cena versus Ospreay match would have been?
Oh my, what?
When he would have went for his version of the Os Cutter.
Oh,
he would have went for the pop up stunner.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Would have been sick. Absolutely sick.
Bro, can you imagine, not Prime Cena, but Cena now? Well, can you imagine that hidden blade to that ball spot? That's a bullseye. Wow.
We would have people putting out slow motion videos of the elbow hitting the spot, right. like that. Just slow motion from every angle. Now, cinematic cut.
Now I don't know if you have a favorite hidden blade spot, but mine was like the one they just did over on Wednesday when he fucking murdered Daniel Garcia. But bro, I think him hitting Cena right in that ball spot would have topped it. He'd have ran that patch. Bow.
Bow, 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 bow.
Oh man.
They should do Cena and Gunther That's kind of like the opponent he never got to have. That he was kind of waiting for his whole career to show up and never did.
I mean, it kind of was Brock for that one match.
Yeah, that's true.
That way.
That's
but,
true.
You know, well, those two matches. But like, yeah, Gunther's better than Brock at this point. So yeah, I think it would have been a better, more, you know, a match that can go more than like 10 minutes. So yeah.
Are they gonna do Cody and Cena for the Battle of America?
I do it. I do. You know, I get the last Seth match, last Roman match in. I get my last Roman stuff. Yeah.
He's got to win a lot of these. Like who do you have do jobs for Cena?
Do job Orton.
Mm-hmm.
Seth, because Seth loses all the time.
Yeah.
But I'd have I basically
Punk.
Well, it'd be funny because Punk would be furious about it, or would have been furious at every time about it. It depends on how he feels now. But like,
oh my God, he's definitely wrestling Logan Paul. Yes, he's definitely gonna fight Logan.
That'd be a good one. That'd be a very good one. But yeah, like, yeah, I think you know, I think you can discuss it. But like, I think like if you're doing this and he's having big match with people, I would have him like beat everybody except for like people that's like Rock. I mean, obviously you're just giving tape, but like people that I think mine would be like people that have to lose, that he has to lose to would be like Roman and Cody. But outside of that, it's up for discussion. Depends on like how you want to make it work out and back in.
Right. Did they do one more John Cena and Rey Mysterio match?
Oh my fucking God. Yeah. Rey get his win back.
I was gonna say, you get that win back.
Yeah, let Rey get his win back.
All old man matches for Cena. I don't want to.
Look, hold on. So here you go. Right, Cena wins World Heavyweight Championship. The next night on Raw, Rey challenges him and beats him. That's how you do it. He gets it back. 12 years later.
I'm not putting Cena in there with no young people like Braun Breaker. No interest. We seen what they put him in there with Austin Theory. Cena have no interest either.
Right.
The all old man matches for him. The Miz, send them out there to basically tell them about each other's selves again.
Well, okay, hold on. Like, I will put him in there with like people like Carmelo Hayes and Braun Breaker, because I think Cena actually thinks they're good. But when it's like Solo Sikoa and it's they already put him in the ring with Solo Sikoa.
What
I'm saying, like when you put him in the ring with people that are shitters, and he knows they're shitters, he's going to shit on them. Austin Theory, another example, right? But when it's people that I think he would actually respect, like a Braun Breaker, like Carmelo Hayes, or Trick, I think he would respect those three. I think Cena's like, hey man, the crowd thinks these niggas suck. I'm going to shit on them and let the crowd just buy it, just rock with it. But if it's somebody he respects that are young, he thinks he can do something, I think he'd be like, oh, okay, yeah.
God damn it. John Cena versus Uncle Howard. God damn it, King of the North. You stop this. No. Stop this. This is bad.
I thought we have gotten past the need for John Cena versus the spooky Wyatt universe. We've done it twice. It sucked twice. Can we move on?
Damn it, Dr. Larry. He just made it even worse. John Cena versus Karrion Kross.
He was shit on him. I did not just say that people that are newer that he would wrestle and that he don't respect or he think the crowd thinks suck, he would just shit on them. He would shit on them and then lose and then walk out and leave.
They tease it on Raw. You're not playing, are you? Oh my God. Bronson Reed, no.
It's gonna be funny
because
Cena, is low key not as tall as he think is, but he's like the same height as Kross. Yeah.
Oh man.
That's depressing.
Yeah. Kross been trying to get that match for like a year. Him and everybody else.
Yeah.
He ain't special.
Right. I've been trying to get that whole verse. Like you and everybody else. Who gives a shit? I'm waiting for Kendrick to hit my line.
Yeah. Okay. I sent the email off.
Right.
just waiting for the verse to come back.
Right. Just send it back in the stems. Come on now.
Yeah. Yeah. But let's move on to All Elite Wrestling. What a big week in All Elite Wrestling. Jesus. Between Forbidden Door, which we reviewed last week with Jeremy. I'm like, hold on. Did we review? Yes, we did. That was a fun show. And then rolled into AEW New Year's Dash / It's Time to Sell the Stadium between Dynamite and Collision. Big returns of 3 cornerstones of the company. And they're in Chicago, and crowd's great. Great matches all throughout the week. Danielson and Pac, Hangman and Jeff Jarrett, Hangman and Jay White. Who else? There's a couple other ones. I can't think of all off the top of my head, but just Matt Menard going crazy with the promos. MJF burying himself with the promos. Hangman Page like cutting a promo that dropped on social media today, which is just like, I think it's throwing everything into question.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, but, it's like that. It's like they did like a post match for Collision, like one of those Continental Classic style matches. If it's not the best promo of his career, it's pretty. People are reacting to it like it is. Okay. And it was like,
was it better than the one when he was losing his mind about going into Revolution, saying he'd rather die than let Swerve win the title?
Yeah. This is still like, this is on another level.
I love that. I love that promo because he had lost his damn mind. He was going crazy.
Yeah. So like, let's go to Beach Break. So we opened up essentially with Danielson and Pac, and they had a real nice match here in the semifinals of the Owen Hart Cup. I like this one a lot, actually.
I thought it was a great match. They're both great for different reasons because like Neville has like the body control of very few wrestlers that have ever lived, and then like Danielson is like that person where it's like, I put on that Okada thing where it's like, this person is like doing things that other people can do, but the way he gets in and out of things and tells stories in the ring is better than like other people. And it's like, but like the way the wrestling he does is not something that you can't do, except from a couple of set pieces here and there. So, yeah, man. Yeah, I called him Neville. It happens. It's a different gimmick. Whatever. It has been Neville 15 years. Like, I didn't even know who Neville was 15 years, I don't think. But, yeah. Yeah, like, Pac is just, he's awesome. And the we put together is like, of course they have a great match, but I just like the part where Danielson is selling the nerve damage from the first match against Shingo. And then you get to the point where like, all right, well, if Danielson gets put in a brutalizer, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. He's going to have to tap. And he escapes the first time, and he gets put in, and then like Pac sets a trap for him off the top rope, and then eventually catches him in a brutalizer. Or actually, no, it wasn't even. It was actually, he just did a pin where he's in a position where you get put in a brutalizer, and that's how he got out. He kicked out by stashing him into a brutalizer. I was like, this is great, so great. I just love the match. I mean, it wasn't as good as the Shingo match, but like it's probably been the quarter star below it. I love the match.
Yeah, I was really into it. I didn't think that. I don't know. This tournament just seemed like it wrapped up so quickly. Whatever. It's like as soon as we're getting into it, it's almost like it's over. So, yeah. I feel vindicated and validated that this tournament this year kicked the shit out of the Owen Hart tournament last year
and the year before. Outside of like that crazy, I mean, as far as top to bottom quality match to match, yeah, absolutely. I mean, there still were a couple highlights. I remember 2 years ago that O'Reilly and Ray Phoenix match was fucking awesome.
Yeah. We missed something at the beginning of the show. There was a promo exchange between Daniel Garcia, Daddy Magic, MJF. I thought Daddy Magic was going to look at him and be like, I don't trust you. Like, be like, you like don't fucking hurt that kid or something like that. That's what I thought he should have did. Like, because if he's the older wrestler and the father, he should have saw through it or whatever. He shouldn't have been fooled by MJF. Let Danny be fooled by MJF.
But I think that the way they did it was like, I normally don't. He's like, look, I thought you were full of shit, but like you've done right by Danny, and he's like, so you're fine with me you're fine with me. And then it's like, then he comes out and then to make it to save, then his shit split. So it's like, that's more effective than like, I always knew you were full of shit, and then he gets his shit split. It's like, nah, let him also, like, it leads credence to believe in MJF if someone like Leonard also falls for it as a fan. It's supposed to be like, oh, the sword was always gonna drop. It's like, yeah, we always knew something was up because of the interaction of like Dan Garcia, MJF at Wembley. You get a title shot before MJF making that face, like you knew something was up, but like it lets you suspend disbelief where it's like, okay, if Leonard can fall for it, I can let my guard down just this much, or buy like the MJF's not going to turn, and then he turned. It's like, this is great that like he turned on Garcia. And he also split Leonard. And Leonard is like, a big part of why people have sympathy for Garcia.
Yep. Yeah. From there, we got Mark Briscoe coming out, and he basically announced that he's, in Blood and Guts. He's the first person for Team AEW. Yeah. And that I'm about to say, and then
on his ass immediately.
This game Jack Perry emerged from the crack smoke and went upside this man's head with the TNT belt.
Do you remember the Chappelle skit when he was working at McDonald's and as he's walking around after working at McDonald's, he's like, oh, I forgot whatever his name was, but he's like, hey, Troy. Yeah, he just won a play of the month. He's like, I'm proud of him. Let's go rob that nigga. He's like, yes. You announced for Team AEW. Congratulations. Let's go whoop this nigga. It was great. Like, he just ran out, beat his ass, and a bunch of run-ins happened. It was really fun. I thought it set the perfect tone for the kind of insanity you will see in the cage at the end of this month.
So Kyle O'Reilly ran out of nowhere to make the save, but then Okada appeared, gave him a rainmaker.
Yep. I see that match.
The Bucks came down and to basically give the EVP trigger to Mark. All them boys held their belts up in Chicago to Nair CM Punk chant. Then the Acclaim's music hit, and I was like, can we just please like hurry up and get this title match over so we can just get them out the feud? So the only person that's officially announced is Mark Briscoe. Let's hope it stays that way. I don't know. I think they're still trying to figure out who's actually going to be on the team. But the Acclaimed bring this down for me heavily.
Oh yeah, but there's no way they're putting them in the cage. There's no way.
Yeah. It's just like I don't take seriousness when I see them. Like as I know they had great matches with Swerve and Our Glory and stuff like that, but it was a long time ago. They don't have the same cachet that they once had.
Especially when they continue to, do the Billy Gunn shit.
I want to say Bill Firearm then ran off Kazuchika Okada, the most protected man in the promotion, must stay strong. Bill Firearm, doing his thing. Will Nightingale cut a phenomenal promo.
Yes, this was her Hard Times promo.
Yeah, dropped the Nothing Matters smile anyway thing. I think that could be motivational in a sense. It's kind of like a nihilistic version of like.
Well, no. We're seeing it from the way it's worded that it can be seen as nihilistic, but the way she's phrasing it as like, hey, like regardless of whatever you're going through, like smile through it and you can persevere.
Yeah.
As it reads for me and for you, is like nothing matters, just smile anyway. Almost like you can break bad like the Joker and go psychotic because the shit can happen to you. Like it can be seen in a nihilistic way. That's the sense you can see from it. Yeah, it can get dark. It can get dark real quick. And then you see her shirts. Then you see her shirts with like it's the smiles and also the skulls. Is like she's kind of twisted. She's kind of twisted. It's cool.
Willow Nightingale listen to them old G Unit songs. Want to be the reason you smile.
It was amazing. Like we really fell for that one. Like 50 Cent.
These thugs were hearts of gold, James.
50 Cent air out and ended the career of one of the best hit makers in the history of rap. Because all he did was make girl songs. And then what did this nigga do? Make a bunch assembly line of girl songs.
Worked.
How do we fall for that?
Worked.
It's truly amazing.
He ain't no thug. He was just making hits. That's all he was doing.
Yeah.
He did Statlander and Nightingale. Heated match.
Yes. On the side getting it.
Yes. Immediately, wasn't nobody trying to exchange a hole. Wasn't nobody trying to lock up. Nah, we about to fight. And she sent Statlander tumbling down that bitch. And you know they got into it. I like this match.
Yeah. Really really fun match. This was not the match. This was not the blow off match. This was the give you a taste. We have a indecisive winner. No one got finished fully. Someone got caught with a roll up, and then we'll go back to that. Like I feel like this needs to be I don't know how many women's matches are going to be that don't involve a title, but if there is, this needs to be on the card. Willow's needs to be at Wembley.
Absolutely. And they could even have a death match or something like that, I feel like, with these two. I think I was kind of shocked. I thought Statlander was going to win.
I did too, but now that Willow gets to win, I think that we're going to have some interference in the final to get Mariah through.
After that, Tony Schiavone was in the ring, reintroduced Britt Baker, Mammoth Reaction. She came out. She basically tells AEW fans she missed them. She was thinking about what she wanted to say, but she couldn't decide, so she's just going to talk. She wanted to talk about three things: the past, present, and the future. She sets this up the way she sets this up. This is like a really good promo.
It was a very good promo. She formatted like a TED Talks approach to a pro wrestling promo. Like go through the promo, and I'll tell you how she formatted it. It was like that. That doesn't. If you swap things here and there, is more effective as a pro wrestling promo.
Yeah, she said the fans have been wondering where she's been the last 10 months. She says that she's had a couple herniated discs and a torn hip labrum. She convinced herself she was good until she started feeling sick one day. Says she went to open a bottle of water, but she couldn't because her entire right side wouldn't work. When she said that, I was like, oh my God, did she have a stroke? But then she said she was diagnosed with something called a TIA, which is a mini stroke. And she says that she told Tony Khan she needed to stay at home for a while. And it basically says stay home till you're right, blah, blah, blah. She says that in this present moment, she's cleared to return to action. Says she's never been more nervous than she was returning that forbidden door. She was worried no one would care. She walked through the curtain. She says that rejection is irrational, but it's persistent. Says her fans welcomed her back with open arms. She will always be in their corner. She also says, when she's going through a hard time, to be present and feel it all because it'll feel better even once you get through it. She says everyone possesses the impulse to be elite, and then she said there's a new elite female face in AEW, Mercedes Moné. She says Moné worked hard to earn those three letters of the CEO, and it's brilliant that she manipulated fans into cheering them by incorporating them into her entrance music. She says, the fans don't need the music to tell Moné that the only letters that matter in AEW are DMD. Then all of a sudden, we go to the screen, and Mercedes Moné jumps out of car, and she's greeted by the Young Bucks.
How convenient that she cuts her off the second that she's mentioned. It's almost like that was an obvious pre-tape.
Yeah, because it was way brighter outside, and shit like that.
I don't even get into that. I'm just saying the way that continue with the segment, and I'll get to my thoughts on why, if she had formatted this differently, while this was still great, it still could have been even better as a launch thing, and I think they're still off to a great start anyway. But I'm being nitpicky.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like she had
great. This whole thing was great.
I was gonna say she had people on their hands listening to her because what's her name? Serena Deeb tried this and no one gave a fuck. A couple like a month and a half ago.
It's almost as if we care more about, we meaning fans care more about Britt Baker than Serena Deeb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Bucks are basically like they welcome Mercedes and they're like, hey, get all this shit ready. It's time for the celebration or whatever. And then you start seeing the crew get in there and start dropping the balloons and setting up all the other shit. And then Mercedes comes out and Britt says that she outsigned her moment at Forbidden Door, and now Monet is trying to do the same thing to her. Monet says she made Forbidden Door famous when she became a double champion, and she should have known that Baker would try to steal her moment. She told Baker to get a good look at what a star looks like. Britt then says she wrestled at the very first All In Chicago, and she was the first woman to sign with AEW. She recalls wrestling at Wembley Stadium last year, All In, while Mercedes was injured. Challenged her to a match at All In. And basically said, I was you was up there looking like a broken leg with a broken bitch, something like that. You're a broken bitch with a broke leg in the stands watching.
Yeah,
and
go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and then Mercedes like mushes her or something, and then she tells Baker, "You need to go to the back of the line." Yeah, that's funny. And then Britt, knows the Mercedes lore. She says, "Bitch, what line?" I popped for that.
I did too. And then Mercedes says, "Oh, so you?
I see you're a fan. Yeah,
you're a fan.
I see you're a fan." So, she knows there's a price to pay when you mess with Monet because you got to put the catchphrase in there. They stare each other down, and this felt like a hot one, man. And it felt like a hot one both times they were on screen. I think this is going to be awesome. Like this is.
I'm excited right now. I'm still dubious on the match because it's Britt Baker and it's a match. So the reason why I say she should have formatted differently is like she because she wanted to do the past, present, and future shtick. If she had just got rid of that formatting of the promo, like she could have came out said like, "Hey guys, happy to be here." Or I don't want to say I'm saying it as vague as you went through because you went the whole thing. I'm not going to go through the whole thing like line by line. But if she had formatted saying, "Hey, feels good to hear you guys. Quite honestly, I've been going for 10 months," and then talk about like, I didn't know I was going to be here, guys. This is what I've been dealing with, and then say, "But I am cleared now." Get the big pop. Then, as she starts to get onto the AEW stuff, cut it off. Don't let her drop the line about Mercedes. Let Mercedes cut her off there with the package right there. Let Britt say to Mercedes' face the CEO piped in line there. Let her also call her a broken bitch. And do the face mush and the same thing. I think that even though it's still great, I think that's more effective because it's kind of like, because it felt like me, like, until she got to the point of telling us about like, she's like, I woke up one day and got a water bottle, and like that took like a minute and a half or 2 minutes just to get to that point. I was like, what is this? Like, it was like, it was great. I just thought that like, if you know what the setup is, that to where Mercedes coming out, like you set it up in that way to where like you set it all and streamline it towards Mercedes interrupting her, and then she could say that big bar about the CEO piped in line in front of Mercedes, seeing the Mercedes reaction. And then she could have said the broken bitch thing, and that would have, instead of the first nasty thing she said to her, just making her smirk, she could have got flustered because she's the heel, and it's like, okay, the first one, that slide, now the second one is actually, you've gotten my goat, Mm-hmm. So I thought, from that perspective, I know, maybe I sound like I'm, what's called on I sound like Bully Ray now, critiquing something that was already great, but I was like, this is great. I just this one little tweak here and there would have made it even better in my mind. And I was like, okay, whatever. I'm hypercritical right now. I'm still saying it's great. It's still because it was. I was like, maybe they just say, hey, your floor is yours. You can do whatever you want. I think maybe that's what it was, and they just went with that.
Yeah, this feels
like this was written out and thought of in a way where it's like, this is my thing. Just say I'm back now. Without pretending like you don't know Mercedes is coming out. Yeah, it felt like one of those. It felt like she was cutting this promo as if Mercedes was never coming out. But if you know she's coming out, save that bar to put it in her face. You get the reaction shot of Mercedes adding to the CEO piped in line.
Mm-hmm. I think this is like one of the biggest women's matches in company history, if not the biggest.
Well, I mean, it would have to be.
Yeah, and sign me up. Like it's like this is a money match. So
they,
no pun intended.
They have me on the hook. But I'm still just like the bus rate on this match is. I'm still aware of the bus rate on this match. But they're off to the races right now. And that's what's important.
We went backstage. We saw Will Ospreay asking Don Callis out of the Don Callis family. As Kyle Fletcher stood by and just watched, and Kyle Fletcher's like standing like 5 feet back, so he's not taller than both of them. Bro, he's a big individual, bro. When I was at Dynasty, I shared an elevator with Kyle Fletcher. Bro, you just looking at him, it's like you just goofy big. Like, what the fuck, bro? Big. Like tall as fuck. Don Callis then was like, you know what? Cool. I'll let you out, man, but you have to do me a favor one day. Don't know what that is, but I know some trifling shit's going on. Yeah. He's currently recruiting Roosh. He obviously brings Kyle Fletcher with him, so it's like he gonna have to free his homeboy.
That was the part that made it great. He was like, I'll let you out, but you owe me a favor. It's like, you made a deal with the devil, and then it's like,
well, he know Will dumb,
but he's like, you're like, hey, come on, let's go, Kyle. It's like, yeah, I let you out. I let you out of your deal, not your man's. So he's stuck.
Is this some like Diddy activity right here? Is like that man signed a Bad Boy for life for 10 albums, James?
I wasn't going to get into that. I didn't even think about that part. But we've seen people sign bad deals in all sorts of walks of life, and this one of those like, hey, I mean, you made the argument like this, is like Death Row Records. You ain't getting out neither. So,
Death Row Records, great.
Yeah, it was one of those like whatever they ask was gonna be nasty. And like this is now like this set of motion. Like Ospreay is gonna get Callis is gonna screw over Ospreay in a terrible way, and it's gonna happen. And like in the way I see it, like I'm like, hey man, like
that nigga Kyle Fletcher in the 360 deal.
Nasty. Look, man. I'm prepared for anything. Seeing where we're at with this thing, like
bro, it's gonna be the worst time, bro.
That Callis and MJF link up finna be nasty.
It's gonna be disgusting. It's gonna
stank. I feel like I see it, and I gotta say, Callis and MJF, I'm already hating it, and I don't mean hating it like I hate it because it stinks. I hate it because I know it's gonna get the right kind of like. I feel like Callis
I
feel like Callis is the right person to put next to MJF to be like, hey man, don't leave this stupid line out. It's like the same way that like CM Punk was an MJF whisperer. Like I feel like Callis could be the MJF whisperer. Be like, hey, that line you finna talk about Meltzer and the Nielsen ratings, don't leave that out. That's a great promo. You finna make people only forget everything you said except for this one stupid fucking line. Don't say that line. I think that
he's got Roosh walking around too, the peripheral of the Don Callis family. Like, bro, the day he like fucks Will,
Don Callis International Emporium,
bro.
That day he got everything but Canadians right now.
The day he fucks him, it's like because I remember when he turned on Kenny, I didn't see that coming. I remember the day that he turned on Kenny, I didn't see that coming.
That's not what he said.
Whoa! The day he fucks him, yeah.
I'm like, bro, we just talking about Diddy. You can't just be. I'm like, wait, what? What's happening?
The day Don Callis.
No, you can't. Hold on, bro.
The day Don Callis screws him over, you can't even say that, right? It's gonna be like at the most horrible time,
right? You'd be like, you can't say it. Oh, well, the day he backstab. Oh, that's crazy too. Backstab, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Why are all these words for betrayal? All these things that are synonymous with betrayal, like so euphemistic? That's crazy.
Crazy. But yeah, there's a lot of nasty potential alliances that are right there. That Don Callis and MJF one, that ugh, that just makes you scrunch your face up like you smell something foul.
Yeah, the one thing I will say is like with the evil MVPs and like their loose connection with all the other like evil motherfuckers, like it's kind of fun. Like the patriarchy stuff, the Gates of Agony stuff, the Callis family reunion stuff, them taking the picture, them doing the thing with Monet. I kind of enjoy this. Like it's like it's like the young bucks are dicks, and it's just like, oh, who else is an evil asshole? You know, let's get some photo time with them.
Look, we all together. You know, we one big group. One team.
Organized crime. It's a Rico.
Yeah.
It's a Rico.
Yeah. Look, and this feels like everybody falling into because like all the alignments are actually like kind of putting everybody in the right sides or whatever, it seems like. So I don't know. I think there's a lot of organization going on.
Oh, I mean, like, yes, like okay, so you know, this year, or this year, or if you want to say like, I don't know if it was first Dynamite of the year, but like basically ever since World's End, the Dynamite immediately following pay-per-views have just been crystal clear focus on what the next thing is. The next thing, like, you know, I didn't watch Dynamite. I didn't watch Dynamite until today, but I got spoiled on a bunch of shit, and I saw what happened with all the stuff. I got spoiled on all this stuff, and I was like, all this stuff is eventful storytelling stuff, and it sets up a new page for the next thing. And like I said to you, like, this is New Year's Dash. This is like AEW New Year's Dash, and like obviously AEW since World's End like has had like these clear new directions on the Dynamites following the pay-per-views, but this was the best one they've done. And all of them have been good, but this was the best one. This is one of the best Dynamites of the year, and there was like a shit ton of off the charts wrestling. This was like new directions, clear
crumbs, returns, turns,
motivations between bad guy, good guy,
angles.
Yeah, it was really good and effective in building stuff that's not even like on paper, on going towards all out, like the run-in stuff with Briscoes and the EVPs of the New Elite. Like, yeah, that was all very together. I mean, they even got to the Jericho segment. I was like, the Jericho segment's working. Like when Taz called, I'm sorry,
that's where we at next.
Oh, let's get to it, because I popped big when I heard that line. Yeah. There was a line in there, I popped big for it.
Do you notice they throw that man, Chris Jericho waited till they pulled up to Chicago to throw somebody out the building?
I didn't realize that, but that's good.
So Jericho came out with a contract in hand and several security guards behind him. Basically, security surrounded the announce desk and says he came out to be a guest commentator in the upcoming match. He addressed Hook using the Judas effect to beat him at Forbidden Door. And basically said
it's bad taste is still another person's
finish. Yes, and that doesn't work for me, brother. And you know, you got to learn some respect. Essentially, he called out Taz for cheering on his son. You know, from the desk. And
like
he said
a mark. He
like
said
a
like
mark.
A mark. And
yes.
Taz laughed, and I popped. I was like, oh, he got him in the like. Bro, I'm sitting here on commentary. Like when they came out of commercial break, they showed the commentary booth, and Jericho looks at the camera, and goes, "Hi guys," and then they showed it, on the Titantron, and then the crowd popped for when he waved "Hi guys," and then you see in the back of the crowd waving at him when he does the "Hi guys." When this shit gets away from Hook, when Jericho gets away from Hook, when he gets away from this charity case, from this Make-A-Wish kid, this shit he's going to get this shit over again. It's going to happen. I guarantee it. It's already working. It's just he's doing it with somebody that is in the mud right now. And what I mean in the mud, like he's wrestling Samoa Joe and Shibata, who comes out big pop. Hook comes out last.
Medium pop, little pop.
Crickets. Be real, crickets. And it's like, who are we pushing here? What are we doing?
I saw a great tweet, or I don't know if I was in a Discord or whatever. Someone said this Hook Shibata Joe alliance ends with Hook getting his own towel too. And I lost it when I saw that.
You mean to tell me we threw all this shit for an orange fucking towel?
Yes.
Just for an orange Hook towel. You get the fuck out of my face. Move this shit over. Like, I said to you, I didn't know the match got announced, but like, bro, I was like, bro, if we get this Joe Jericho match, that's gonna be the match. And then like you told me like that's scheduled for Calgary next week or in 2 days. So I was like, yeah, great.
Yeah, Jericho is wrestling Mexico soon in Arena, Mexico. Did they make an official match announcement, like, or a date or anything yet? Chat, let us know. He said he got an executive order from Nick and Matt declaring that Taz must vacate the premises, for the building for the rest of the night. Security led Taz away, and Jericho took his spot. And we had Joe, Hook, and Shibata against the Cage of Agony.
Yeah. Cage of Agony, Gates of Agony, whatever they're called now. There's a good match when Hook wasn't in it. Am I wrong?
No.
Okay, then. It was a good match when Hook wasn't in it. And then except for like the very end, when Hook made his comeback and got the win, it was just kind of there. When Hook was in.
Yeah. SGW Uganda, let's go, baby. After that,
are we gonna talk about Collision?
Yeah, we're gonna get there.
Okay. I got a hook line that will tie back when we talk about Collision.
So after the match, Brian Keith and Big Bill ran out to whoop Joe, Hook, and Shibata. I jumped for joy when Brian Keith pulled that his arm out of that sling for reasons which shall be made clear in the coming weeks, I imagine. Bill took the chair, fucked up Joe. Jericho put the brass knucks on. He hit Hook with the knucks. Brian Keith grabbed the table from under the ring. Bill and Jericho set it up. Bill picked Hook up, rubbed him against I know they're not in the United Center, but he rubbed him against the Chicago Bulls banners and then threw his ass through the table.
He held him there forever.
Yeah. And then after that, it was time for Double J to come out to the ring. Which led us to Jeff Jarrett making his entrance alone. His group, Jay Lethal would cut a promo like kind of backstage for him as Jeff like walked off real serious. Jeff's getting cheered for and all this as he comes out. And then a motherfucker emerges from the underground, from the Cowboy Evil Underground, back for vengeance. Ready?
His name. I'm changing his background. Go ahead.
Ready to ride on all his enemies. Literally, Hangman Adam Page comes back with some new music or whatever, and he comes out. No funny joke on the name Cryon. This man gets in the ring, and Chicago is just like kind of reacting to him like, oh my God, like Jeff's gonna get fucked up. Like everybody can see the look on Hangman's face. Hangman's not in a happy mood. He's not none of this. Like he don't give a fuck that it's Jeff Jarrett in the ring. Nah, get in. Bell rang, and Jeff Jarrett or Hangman Page began to kick the shit out of Jeff Jarrett in ways people that watched TNA wrestling in the mid-2000s could only wish for.
Bro, when they went to commercial break, I believe, like, early match started, he
beat on an old man.
Hangman's on this motherfucker's ass. And, like, they get out the ring, and then Hangman is beating Jarrett's head against the steel steps. I thought that was going to be the finish on a countout. And I was like, this is fantastic. I'm about to come out here and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars. I was ready. It had been, I was like, yes, absolutely. Get him the fuck out of here. But they continued that match. It ended up working out. This was great too. I really enjoyed this match. This is not some great 4-star match in the stance of like in a vacuum. This is a great match. This is a great match as far as like what was its effect and what was its purpose. And like I felt like so much of this show, not everything was some 5-star match, or some all-time great talking segment, but like all these segments did exactly what they were intended to do. I thought this was one of the most effective shows AEW's ever had. I really did.
Yeah. as far as like this match and the dynamic of it, it's really hard to recapture it in words talking about it, but it was like a very dangerous motherfucker against like somebody who's there. They were there for completely different reasons.
It was
like
the old guy trying to do something. It was a Western. The old guy at the end trying to get one last ride off into the sunset or whatever else for something honorable, and they go up against something and they're getting their ass handed to them. It was great.
You're going up against somebody who don't give a fuck. Like
when NWA got relaunched, and it was a guy that was in his 50s, and he was wrestling. He was wrestling Magnus, not Magnus.
Tim Storm.
Tim Storm versus now on SmackDown the GM.
Yeah.
It was that match? Like he's going out sad, but like you're rooting for the guy to win because this is his last chance.
And some people rooted for Jeff Jarrett so hard. They spent 2 entire days on Twitter wondering why Jeff Jarrett, like what the point of this was, why Jeff Jarrett didn't win, why Jeff Jarrett wasn't going to Wembley. And I'm like,
he was never going to Wembley. He was
like,
there to sacrifice.
You got worked by one of the
Creed.
You got worked by one of the masters. Like it did. This is one of the last masters. Like Jeff Jarrett. Like this shit proved to me how great Jeff Jarrett is. Like he basically, like he used all those real feelings that I'm sure he has in a pro wrestling setting to do an angle. Like Owen Hart would have loved this shit. Like he basically tore on everyone's like heartstrings. Like and had everyone talking about this promo that I was doing for weeks or whatever. Everyone was like, yo, you got to see this Jarrett promo. This is incredible. This is like some of the best shit. And then I
never saw the Jarrett promo. I just remember that they tagged.
Yeah. Like
I'm an old wrestling fan.
Right. Like in the 9-minute version of this promo is like just one of the best things they've ever done. Right. And then he loses and people like just,
he lost and he got his ass kicked. He got hit with a dead eye, got hit with a buckshot, then got hit with another got hit with a dead eye, got hit with a buckshot, didn't get covered immediately, got pummeled to a bloody pulp until Aubrey had to pull Hangman off of him, and then, or not bloody pulp, he didn't bleed, and then got lifted up and hit with another dead eye just to add insult to injury because Hangman is just so fucking mad. This was great.
Yeah. This was so impressive.
This was a great. It's not about the moves. It's not about how good a match is in a vacuum. This was like, do you feel something when you watch it? And I know MJF says that kind of shit. It makes me roll my eyes, but like,
this is what it is.
This is exactly what he is when it's done right.
Yeah. And like the way Jarrett is like kind of like still like found himself in the story or whatever of this whole thing is I'm very interested to see what he ends up doing. After that, we then got Will Ospreay versus
Sever's movement makes a great point.
Take that back.
Jarrett was doing enziguri, he did the right leg
sharpshooter.
Yeah, he was like he's doing the Owen tributes. Yep.
Man, it's amazing. He didn't start doing no Brett tributes in the middle of it.
No.
All right. So we see the Young Bucks backstage and they're congratulating Hangman on lifting his suspension and getting him in the tournament and him advancing.
Yeah.
Hangman, they were like, hey, so you gonna be the 5th member of Team Elite? And then Hangman makes it clear he wants no parts in that. He's not about his young boy. He's not working for y'all niggas. He's his own man. He's a loner. And, he's trying to rip Matt Jackson's shirt off a little bit, kind of. Matt is looking like he stepped in some shit. Yeah, you can see right over James's shoulder, like the look at that dynamic, look at that body language right there. This is tunnel talk activity right here that's going on right here. Like just look at the pearls on the necklace, the part of the chest being exposed, the two men in each other's breathing space. Like this is I look forward.
I imagine they're going to talk about.
No. Yeah. They did.
But I haven't heard it yet. But I imagine when I press play, they're going to be talking about something along the lines of like Matt was able to feel the heat and the warmth of Adam Page's breath And I'm just gonna be like, y'all are just entirely too horny. Y'all are just entirely too horny for me. Yeah. I know they lost it. I know when they saw a Collision when he got Harwood, they lost it again too, I imagine.
Yeah. After that, Garcia and MJF came out, and then Will Ospreay came out. And we had Daniel Garcia versus Will Ospreay. Another awesome match. Close it out.
This is so good.
A lot of great moves, reversals. You know, I'm not your match play-by-play guy, but I was into it, and it was like, yeah, like Will came out. You know, he lost the match at the pay-per-view. Swerve's not on this show. He'll be back next week.
Right.
But Ospreay comes out, and it's like, after you've seen this entire show, it's like, oh, Will Ospreay still to come.
Did he get the biggest pop tonight?
I don't know. I wasn't
maybe
measuring.
I wasn't paying attention, but like I felt like when his music hit, it was like, oof.
Yeah.
I will say this: when
they
did the Shawn Michaels Bret Hart in Canada, I'm sorry, the Shawn Michaels in Canada promo with Bret about Bret coming out, and then it was just like Shawn playing the music. Like when they did that on Collision, like there was a woman that you could hear on the audio, like when Ospreay's music hit in Mississippi, she fucking screamed. She shrieked. I was like, whoa, whew. Now she wanted to be elevated. She definitely wanted to be elevated.
Trying to get elevated
on Saturday.
Elevated to the sky. But yeah, this whole thing kind of like culminates in MJF wanting Garcia to use the ring, which we haven't seen in quite a while. Yeah. Garcia picks it up, Crisis of Conscious. You know, kind of a similar to, you know, Ospreay and Swerve. So that it coming that fast after, I think that was something to look at. But Garcia hesitates and he turns around and he catches an all-time hidden blade in the face. Pins him.
Some of the camera shots on this Dynamite, like in the early at the beginning when they're outside between Pac and Danielson, and then that shot where he gets the ring, he gets rolled up, he fights through with the ring in his hand, he gets away, get a chance to think about using it, hands it back to MJF, and then turns around and gets fucking decleated, taken off his feet by Hidden Blade.
That man's feet were like where his head normally is.
Yeah, he got turned inside out. And also was like the part where like Ospreay left his feet too to deliver it. That's what made it so awesome. Like this was like someone getting blindsided like 10 years ago on an interception return in NFL. Like people just getting cracked back. Oh, it's awesome.
This would have been on Jacked Up.
Yes.
Daniel Garcia got jacked up.
Absolutely. This was Warren Sapp taking Chad Clifton out for a season. This is one of those. Yes.
What's his name? Sean Taylor in the Pro Bowl and yeah. So like after Ospreay won, Ospreay whispered something to Garcia, who's disappointed in himself, knows he's been fucked again, kind of by his own doing. MJF joins him in the ring. MJF's kind of disappointed. He's wearing his white wife beater, so I'm like, oh Jesus. I
want to point out, I don't know if it has made the reference either, but like when MJF came out with that leather jacket, that Triple H leather jacket, like. I know people that point out the Triple H thing. You know, also he looks like Andrew Dice Clay from the late '90s and late '80s, early '90s.
That's an astute observation.
Yeah, he really does, and it's like hickory dickory. I was like, okay, he's finna say something offensive.
Well,
yeah.
MJF helped Garcia up and hugged him before he gave him a low blow. Put on the ring and he hit
accurate, on time, well placed low blow. It went where it was supposed to go.
Just bow, and then
no redos, no hitting your brother in the head on accident.
Then Matt Menard tries to help Garcia. He hits him with the diamond ring. Hit Garcia with it. Steps on his throat. Garcia, then started gushing. MJF started fucking up the geeks who ran down. And then gave some more right hands to Garcia, sat him on the top turnbuckle, gave him that middle rope tombstone power driver
Didn't
that
sell
he
the
does.
knee.
No, not at all.
You know, every time he's ever done it, he sold the knee. So I just want to point out that like he didn't, you know, reflectively through instincts just go to the I can't make the cover because my knee. So that was cool.
I thought this was like a really incredible beatdown. Tons of heat.
That's in this corner right here.
People wanted to like keep cheering him and try to cheer like he's our scumbag and stuff like that, but MJF, to his credit, remained heel and was like, I'm just gonna keep whooping his ass. And then eventually, like, it flipped the crowd to, you know, booing him. Will Ospreay ran back down the ramp. MJF retreated through the crowd. People were throwing garbage at him. He almost like got in a fight with,
went head to head with a fan. She shoved a fan, a different fan before that. He threw trash.
Yep.
This post match. Now, granted, I had saw this after I had saw the dumb line about the Meltzer thing or whatever else in Nielsen. But like I watched it, I was like, this is the best thing. This post match is the best thing MJF has done since the Iron Man match with Danielson early last year. It was really impressive, really good, well done, set up well, so effective. So I was like, this is a great Dynamite. And it wasn't like some, you know, bunch of super matches going off. It was a bunch of really good matches or great matches. But like the stories, the directions, the characters, the motivation of the characters, it was like, this is about the best you can ask for a pro wrestling program to hit you with as far as everything they put on for a 2-hour show.
It was almost like
really good.
It was really good. Like, you gonna be at Wembley, my nigga? Like, that's what this was.
Because it was like, hey, these are the directions. Like, we haven't put it on, we haven't booked it yet, but Ospreay and MJF. Like it was very well done. Also, Mercedes and Britt, like, telling you like these are the matches.
Yeah. So like it kind of rolled into Collision this week with the tournament final, but I want to talk about MJF's promo here. As strong as that segment was, I kind of thought that he kind of weakened, you know, kind of just like his overall effectiveness, I think, almost in one promo.
Okay. Are you going to go through the promo, or do you just want to talk about the line? Because I feel like the promo mostly is, you know, it's a very good You People promo, and it shows that it explains his motivation, explains like the fans are hypocrites, you know, with the whole Joe, you know, chanting "Thank you, Joe" thing, all of that. The problem is once he gets to the line about why he actually doesn't like Will Ospreay, and it's like, that's not a real reason to actually dislike anybody. And I understand, like, your real thing is this is the person that the fans are cheering for instead of you, so therefore you want to hurt him. But like, to sell the fight, you also have animosity towards him, and your reason for picking animosity, it sounded just childish, or not childish, but like it sounded very WWE. Like, who could possibly give a fuck about the ratings when you're in the fight selling business? Your job is to sell the fight, not sell that, like, I don't like this guy. Or your way to sell it to make people actually buy your fake fight isn't it like, oh, I care about the ratings, you care about having good matches. What?
I feel like Floyd Mayweather would say some shit like that. Like, I draw the money, you know, shit like that.
I don't think he's ever, maybe he has, and I'm just forgetting, but like Floyd mostly is like, I got a lot of money, you know, while in the middle of a financial crisis, I'm this guy flashing a shit ton of money and calling myself Money Mayweather.
Yeah. So basically, like, MJF like kind of goes through this thing and is like, he comes out in the suit. He's completely ditched the the you know, the denim and everything like that, the different look. So he's back to the square root default MJF now. So yes. I'm like immediately like, all right.
You thought it was bad, or you thought it was good?
I thought that was bad or whatever.
I thought that was good. It's like, hey, remember when you only like had issues with the things I would do here and there, but mostly thought I was very talented. And then like when I stopped doing that, like I started doing shit that like you never liked. I was like, yeah, I remember that. He's back to the part where like I can actually like enjoy the things he does more times than not now. Great. That's what I felt like when I'm seeing him in the suit again. In the Burberry scarf. Like,
I was like, all right, like, this is how you look. Like, this is how your old action figure looked. Like, this is 5 years later. I kind of just want to see like a new look, a new kind of, you know, presentation, like just more evolution, but didn't do that. So he basically was like, cut my music. I know everyone in the building is incredibly stupid, but I would appreciate if while talking to you, you kept your mouth shut. Daniel Garcia, you're nothing more than a pawn. You really thought MJF, the biggest star in AEW, was going to give you a match at All In. Said, no, that match was never going to happen. I was always going to stab you in the back. But during this ruse, there was something that you did that really offended me. I offered you a match at All In at Wembley Stadium, and you didn't answer. Well, after what I did to you, you're not going to wrestle again. But I'm not here to talk about Daniel Garcia. I'm here to talk to you fans at home. Roll the clip. Then they play the old shit where he's talking about emotional rejection disorder and all this other shit, fake shit that
fake diagnosis. Yeah. So I saw that video clip and I was like, why
you were there.
I was like, that sounds familiar. I was like, oh shit, that was Raw. That was Dynamite 100 or 200 whatever it was. Like, I was there for that. I forgot how much I hated that fucking promo. The whole Adam Cole shit.
Bro, he said he opened up to you people. I told you if I opened up to you, it would tear my heart out if you turned your back on me. You didn't give a damn. I did everything for you. I changed for you. I broke my body for you. And how do you repay me? I'm like, so hold on. So who's the worker and who's the mark?
Right.
How do you repay me? He said, after my best friend stabs me in the back, after Samoa Joe steals my world belt, I'm on my couch writhing in pain. I turn on Dynamite at the World's End. What do you people do? You chant, thank you, Joe. Hey,
right.
we were right.
I will say this. I thought all of this worked very well until we start getting to further into this promo. But I would say, one thing I would say is you could be like, so you just acknowledge that Samoa Joe stole your promo. You're not on the warpath to get your revenge on him,
right?
Okay. On the next episode of Dragon Ball Z, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
He said, while I was in physical therapy trying to get function back in my left arm, you discarded me for guys like Swerve, like Okada, a Black, and a Japanese.
He did not say that part. You are editorializing, sir.
That's what I heard. But he said, worst of all, that talentless hack Will Ospreay. He said, what I did to Danny Garcia wasn't personal between me and him. It was personal between me and you fans. I'm going to take away everything you love in this company because everything you love sucks. Great.
Devlin made a great point. Read it.
He said, do not give him promo ideas.
Right. Do not be like, hey Japanese and a Black. Do not do that.
You know MJF be tapped in to everything on the internet. He might hear this. So
I wish he would be tapped into this show. He would have acted right. He would have acted right over the last year. He would have been doing this shit.
Yeah.
The biggest show in pro wrestling history, and the friendship is more important than winning the title. Get the fuck out my face. Anyway, go ahead.
So he's like, you guys like Will Ospreay. You're too delusional to realize that Will Ospreay cannot help this company like I can. He is a child.
Now, here we go. This is where we start with the bullshit, right?
Yep.
It's like, if you're mad at the company and the fans, why do you give a shit about what the company does? You make the same regardless.
I guess
is this we're supposed to remember that, like, he has that stupid tattoo on his ankle? Is that what it's supposed to be?
Yeah. Okay. I think so. You can't. It's like he loves the company so much he wants to shape it in his image. I
mean, that's where he gets to. He does mention that in later in his promo. He does mention that.
So he's like, he doesn't care about ticket sales. He only cares about putting on good matches for you guys. I was like, shame. I was like, shame on Will Ospreay.
How dare Hey, bro. How dare he? Right?
That bastard, Raven.
Like, you do know that, like, there are tons of UFC fighters that take on damage in order to win, like, the best fight bonus, right? You know that does actually happen.
Yeah.
UFC actually is a bigger company than AEW. You know that what you said was fucking stupid, right? All right, go ahead, man.
He said the only ratings he cares about are from a guy named Meltzer. I'm a grown man, and I care about TV ratings. And the only one that I care about is from a man named Nielsen. So I got an idea. How about you, Will, you and I pop a number right here, right now. You call yourself the Billy Goat. How about you come out here so I can sacrifice you like one? Exactly like I thought. He's not coming out here. Plays Will Ospreay's music. He does a shock face.
Shrieked. Oh boy, she shrieked. She about came out her drawers when she heard that them trumpets. Yeah.
And then Shivani was like, he knows Will Ospreay is not here. And then MJF's like, yeah, he's not coming to you guys because he's a fickle coward, just like you fans. My name is MJF. You can thank me later. Shivani says, we have witnessed the ramblings of a self-absorbed narcissistic punk, and he's a liar.
Yeah. Yeah. So, it's just the very end. It's just the last third of it just has issues with it. And, a lot of this, for most of it, it's effective. It's still going to make you want to see the fight or see the match, but it's this part where it's like, what he's mentioned, like when you say there's stuff that's kind of like, it's diluted. It's like, there's shit in this that has no business being there.
Bro, when you listen to this and then you listen to that Hangman promo back to back, like, that he sets up the Danielson match, and then basically like he gives his mission statement of why he's coming back. Like, it's levels. It's two different fucking levels. Like, and I couldn't imagine like seeing like how it played out this week. It's like they stepped, like when I watched Dynamite, I was like, wow, they stepped on Heyman's return with this thing. And then I saw them both cut the promos, and I'm like, oh, these guys are operating on different levels. Maybe he didn't step on him, but I'm like, who are you programming between number one and number two between them? Like, this should be clear as fucking day. Like with like Heyman's on another level from this guy.
Look, man, there's just, like, MJF is absolutely in this class of guys. Like right now we have these two big singles programs as like, it seems like they are now the new class, right? Like, we always talked about Paige being the bridge guy. Like once we got past like, Moxley and Jericho and Cody and Omega. We always talked about that. Right now, the time is for Swerve, Ospreay, MJF, and Paige right now. And right now, like, if you need a promo from any of them four, the people that you're going to feel when you hear them talk are going to be Will Ospreay, because we've seen it over and over, Hangman Page, and Swerve. And then MJF is an incredible promo, but he's a carny.
He's prone to like.
Do you remember
he's prone to simple mistakes like that. You can
of inauthenticity. Like I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean like he's a bad person. He's like, he feels like just a wrestler as opposed to a person that wrestles. You get what I'm saying? Like he feels like a carny. Like you remember 2022 or all throughout that year when it was like the Eddie Kingston, Chris Jericho promo. Like Jericho's one of the best promos in the history of the business, right? We can all agree upon that. But when he's in there with Eddie Kingston and he says, I can smell the bitch on you and all that kind of stuff.
Like there's no response to that.
There's a real person there in Eddie Kingston. Like that's a person you believe in. And Jericho comes off as like feeling not on that kind of like sniff test, passing that same kind of sniff test. Like if MJF ever does something with Mark Briscoe, it's the same thing is gonna happen. Like Mark Briscoe's a damn fool, but we believe he's a damn fool. Mm-hmm. MJF is still trying to vacillate between when to do work, shoot shit, and get in the way of his own message at times. Yeah. Or he's just like, it doesn't matter because the fans will remember, and I just want to just quickly like retcon and move on to the next thing without people remembering what I did 6 months ago, 10 months ago, blah, blah, blah. And it's fine because it's pro wrestling and like we just make it up as we go, as opposed to like
and the people
Swerve is a real character when he goes through shit as he's changed over time, has had to go face to face with the consequences of the action for being a murderous, bloodthirsty person and want to get to the top in that way. That's all that stuff was with Christian. Right?
I was gonna say, and the people that are thriving in this company right now are doing it that way.
That's what I'm getting at. But
like you can see like the Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay thing and the decisions that he's made in leaving the Don Callis family is going to come back and fuck him.
And his decisions on like, hey, I was bloodthirsty coming in here. I potentially thought I harmed or ruined the career of an outgoing legend. I'm not going to do this one move anymore. And that move has cost him the title. And as he's trying to become a better person, it's costing him these other things in the short term that he will also, that are going to be obstacles that he's going to wish that he had just figure out a different way to avoid, but he's going to have to overcome them on the way to becoming the champion over the next year and change. That's Ospreay's story. Hangman's story is
I hate this motherfucker.
This motherfucker invaded my home and touched my child, and the fans are cheering this motherfucker. That would drive you insane.
Look, and
that's
like,
real. That quote unquote.
There's more to it even.
Okay, guys. Okay.
Like when he was saying, like, you know,
I'm not a pun of these fucking asshole EVPs either.
He's like, I gave this company 5 years of my life, and like they chose him. Like it, like, and it was just like, you have this, like you have to see this. Like after the show, we're gonna watch it. Like it's amazing. Like what he stood in that hallway and did, and it's like you don't need, like, this is pure passion. What he was saying, commitment to the stories, taking the and Hangman's only allowed to cut this promo. Hangman's only allowed to cut this promo by doing business in the way he did business last year. Yep. Like, and now it comes back because time has passed, and now it's like we can hear you out if, like, we remove, like, okay, we made the decision, we embrace Swerve, but after that, now you can actually kind of get off your talking points, like that people in real time would have just told you to shut up or whatever, right? But now people are listening to you, and it's all culminating in the finals of this tournament now with him and Danielson. And man, I always thought this thing was set up and designed for Bryan Danielson to walk. This was a lay down tournament for Bryan Danielson. This thing's up in the air now, and it's like Hangman has been so incredible in the role. He had a great match with Jay White to close out Collision.
Okay, here we go. You want to talk about that?
Yeah. Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that because I got. You ready to talk about that right now?
Yep.
All right. Gotta switch up the background, you know.
Yes.
This fucking Christian's unbelievable. And
bro,
sat there and smiling like, hey, man, gonna take care of it. I did my part.
Yep. Yeah. So in the middle of the show, Jay White and Christian have been going at it for a couple weeks and cutting promos each other face to face and talking a lot of shit. I think this is Hangman and Hangman and Jay White's best match together that they've had. They were getting the shit beat out of each other. Hangman's bleeding. The interference makes like a lot of sense.
Yes.
In this,
it was effective interference in that, like, it sent people on a path, and like
it was like misdirection.
Yeah. So my question is this, right? I don't know if you rewatched it or not. Can you tell if Hangman hard-weighed himself on the concrete or on like the posting of the thing that was holding up the railing? I couldn't tell. Because I was like, because it happened to a commercial break, right? So I'm watching it because the copy I have is like the commercial breaks are in it. So I'm watching it and I'm like, how the fuck? So I run it back. I was like, did you hear this on the concrete? And I'm like, wait, it must have been. I didn't rewind it back a second time. So I was like, oh, it must have been like the railing that was stuck out further. I was like, that's a nasty way to get cut, because he immediately, like, you know, grabbed the top of his head, like, what the fuck? Yeah, man. And then it worked so well in the match, like, and I gotta tell you that fortuitous juice is so much better than when you hard way, or than when you get the razor out. It always works so much better.
Yeah, Jay White was in his counter bag towards the end. This was like, oh shit, Jay White actually might have something going for him in there. I don't want to trade him back to New Japan for a ham sandwich.
I mean, look, when it's once he gets these charity cases, man, when you get the ass bros away from him, and you just him and Juice.
Well, it's time to work.
Yeah, like. Think of how good. Look, remember, right now. This was a on match. They did something that New Japan never had the balls to do. Hey, all you motherfuckers at ringside are out before the match even starts. Get the fuck out of here. Had the balls to do what New Japan never could do. Like, nah, we're gonna let this man rely on this crutch. Nah, let his ass walk.
So this ends up with like Double J coming out to, like, he comes out with a belt, and he starts like hitting Hangman, I believe. He basically like is trying to like revive the referee. I forgot what he did, but he ended up out
what
there.
happened is it looks like MJ, or sorry, I'm gonna say MJF. So Jay White keeps counting our stuff and starts hitting those choke suplexes, right? So there's another one coming, and I believe Hangman then throws Jay White into the ref, takes out the ref for the ref bump, right? So then he hits then I think Hangman hits a dead eye, and then he realizes the ref's out. He takes off his belt, and then he starts choking Jay White with the belt. Then he takes the belt off, starts whipping Jay White with the belt, and then Jarrett comes out, takes the belt from Hangman, and then like the match starts continuing to go, and then Hangman I forgot who had the match seemingly won until the ref came out, and then it changed. Then it switched up and
White and Christian.
Oh, the second ref came, took the belt from Jarrett to get out the ring, and then Jarrett was like, "I ain't getting involved in the match. I just stopped the cheating." Right. So then Jarrett leaves. The second ref also I think leaves with Jarrett as well. Then out comes Christian.
Just like that man comes out like Benny Blanco at the end of fucking Carlito's Way. Like Jay White thought he was like,
almost out scot-free.
He was almost out scot-free. And all of a sudden it was like, I'm Benny. Remember me, Benny Blanco from the Bronx? Like
hit with the gun, and this time the gun was a spear.
Like,
and then this fuck nigga Christian rolled out the ring and laid there, and then the camera caught him laying down, just like you see in my background. And he was waiting for the match in. Hangman hits that spear hits the buckshot later, he gets to win, and then they cut back to Christian on the ground after the bell rings, and he's smiling his ass, and he's smiling his ass off. Oh, it was great. It was so great.
Bro, it was great. Great.
There's also something I wanted to mention from Collision, because I think we passed it. So Jack Perry had an open challenge for the TNT title.
Incredible.
Out comes Marco Stunt, and then they have a match that goes short. But I gotta say, man, like, why can't we put Marco Stunt with Shibata and Samoa Joe as opposed to Hook? Because there ain't no way you convince me that Hook is a better wrestler than Marco fucking Stunt right now. No way. I ain't seen Marco Stunt. Well, I ain't seen Marco Stunt since AEW, and think what we've seen out of Hook. Was he ever better than Marco?
Look, Marco Stunt has so many legendary moments of like
an all-time jobber.
Yes, like all-time enhancement match guy. Like he comes out there
and gets fucking murdered.
Like Jack Perry, like hits this nigga with a JBL lariat.
Yes,
he fucking to start the match. He lawn darts him. And that goes to the closing stretch after that, right? I think so.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. I thought it was actually a really cool thing too, like to see Marco pop up, because it's almost like you're zipping up this little loose string that was just like hanging in AEW history, and it was like kind of closure for that act or whatever.
Yeah.
But I want to get back to the Danielson and Hangman thing, because it's coming down to those guys.
Yeah,
and
sure.
it's like,
I just want you to say it. Marco sounds better than Hook.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, just all right.
Yeah, shoot, they need to bring Marco Stunt back.
I agree.
Danielson and Hangman.
I want to see Hangman versus Marco Stunt right now. Are you kidding me?
Send it up. Collision. Bring your ass out on Collision. You get killed every week by somebody. But yeah, man. So it's like it's either Danielson or Hangman. And it's like this Danielson's one last ride kind of thing, and then Hangman's like burning with vengeance, like he's from the nether realm in Mortal Kombat. That's how angry he is to get the swerve. This is the angriest non-racist white man that I think is existed in history.
Like I'm not willing to discredit or discount that, like, Hangman may or may not be racist. He's the fucking Hangman.
You stupid.
Like just the
he need to bring
just fundamentally is
Look, did he need to bring the rope back?
He can't bring the world back versus Swerve. He cannot bring the world back versus Swerve. You know that. You can't do that.
Not allowed.
No.
Not allowed.
No, absolutely not. But what I will say is like, look, man, I think this is like the best like high leverage. We don't know who's necessarily really going to win like tournament final since like. Wait, was that final for the title Danielson versus Moxley for the AEW title after Punk had to vacate?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is it. Or it's like either one can win. You got a number of good options right here, which then makes me believe, well, if that's the case, bitch ass Daniel's gonna be like, I'll lose. No, we're not losing. Like, also, like to sell this cage match, they did tease like, hey man, we want you in this cage, and Hangman said, I want no parts of you. I'm not your puppet. Leave me the fuck alone. If Hangman don't win this match against Danielson, he will have to be in that cage to get what he wants against Swerve. So I think there is you can go either way, but like there's still we will get Hangman versus Swerve eventually, and like I really wanted to see them in this cage before I thought he was going to be in this tournament. So I'm okay with either one, and I think I would like to see a Danielson Swerve pay-per-view title match. I would like to see that.
I think Swerve and Hangman is so much hotter at this point than even because like they're starting Swerve and Danielson from square one, kind of, and it'll be awesome. But as they were working the match, the Jarrett and the Hangman match, that crowd was screaming Swerve at him.
Yeah, and he lost his mind.
I feel like the people have decided, like. and they're playing with fire right now, like, and I don't envy the people in that room that are.
So let's see.
Gonna make this decision.
I wouldn't say it was that. I was gonna say, look, this would be like I was saying. Oh well, it won't be that bad because this would be their fourth match in basically 11 months, 10 months. So it won't be that bad.
Yeah,
we can get away with that.
Yeah, and like,
but if you do that match, it's like, so is Hangman really gonna go down 0-3-1 versus somebody?
You might got to win this next one.
As a heel to go home in Wembley, I would not do that. I would not do that.
Like, he's a heel, but this is like he's doing such incredible work right now. Like
yes, I think this is incredible work. It's also been like 2 shows over 4 days.
Bro, like you have to see the promo that he cut.
I look, it could be the greatest promo of all time. It's still 2 promos over. It's still 2 shows over 4 days. I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it's not great. I'm just saying, and I'm not saying that. Look, and he's been sorely missed. I don't think it's necessarily the greatest thing in order to be like, hey, you can leave for months at a time, come back, win the top title, and whatever else. Like, didn't we just have a problem with CM Punk? When motherfuckers picking up and leaving and coming back from injury and immediately winning the title back. I don't know, man. Do you want to set these precedents?
Heyman was out for a very specific reason, which I'm not going to.
I didn't say it wasn't. I'm saying he was missing time.
Yeah.
Kyrie Irving has specific reasons why he's missing time too.
Yeah. I think Heyman has I think he should win and face Swerve at Wembley, but
it can be either or. I'm good. Look,
I don't know if it's going that way. Like I was indifferent on it until this weekend.
I think there's no bad choice here. My point is, like, I feel like I think you could still get your little taste of Hangman and Swerve in the cage and get it later in the year, if you want to do that. Like, because, he's won these 2 matches in this tournament. I would like to see Hangman fuck people up for a while. I don't necessarily want to see him with the belt or I don't necessarily want to see him with the belt that quick. I want to see him in this character, be driven on a warpath to get to Swerve. I don't think 2 matches is enough for me personally. I would like to see 10 matches on the warpath to get to Swerve. If this is if this is Wrestle Dream or some shit like that, or Full Gear, perfect. Or hell, you can even make it double or nothing. Not double nothing. All Out. Is All Out 2 weeks from now? 2 weeks
Hold
later?
on. Brewhaven says the discourse will be so fucking awful if Dragon wins. Why Hangman isn't appreciated enough? He's not. What are we saying? He's not. This guy's like, bro, if you look at the guy who has like so many of like the best feuds in company history, is Hangman Page. What's not to get?
I wouldn't disagree with that. I am saying that like I like his character right now as he is, and I don't necessarily need him with a championship for that.
Well, no, I'm talking to the chat.
Oh, okay.
Like, bro, like they've made mistakes with this guy so many times, and he's bounced back from all of them because there's a reason that people keep getting into this guy over and over again. Like, this guy's the one. He's Neo. Like, they can try to push him aside.
He's the best character in the company.
They can try to push him aside for somebody from Ring of Honor in the mid 2000s again if they want. They can try it again.
All right, let's not do this because you're making an argument of CM Punk, who's broken down and not nearly as good as Daniel Bryan, versus a dude that might be the best wrestler in the world this year outside of Daniel, or the second.
Danielson is broken down.
Yeah, while broken down, he's the second best wrestler in the world this year.
It's
no. Do this. Besides,
we are so close to the end. We are so close to the end.
Rich. Besides Will Ospreay, who is the best wrestler in the world in 2024?
Danielson.
Okay, then. I understand what you're saying, but like you comparing Danielson in 2024 to 2022 CM Punk is ridiculous.
But Danielson
I get you're saying that, they're both old guys, but it's like, yeah, but it's also being like, yeah, I'm tired of these 2003 NBA players, but it's like, bro, you're talking about Carmelo Anthony, LeBron James. LeBron's still an all-star. Carmelo's out the league.
But Bryan Danielson, for all those great matches, has nothing going narratively. Nothing. His shit through this tournament has been ice cold. His no one was chanting Danielson
what?
Excuse me. They were chanting Swerve at Hangman. Danielson's just there. Like, he's there. He's had his great matches. Like, he's done the match thing. Like, he has all those. But narratively, the people want Hangman Page and Swerve Strickland. Like, that's where we at with it. Like,
that's fine, but you realize, like, you were saying like he has nothing nearly going for him, and I'm like, except for this fucking tournament that's going on right now as we speak, right? Like, I get it. If you want to go either way, there's no bad option, but you're not going to tell me that, like, oh yeah, he has nothing going for him narratively, when like literally up until this fucking guy comes out of nowhere that was on ice for months. Like, he was literally the driving force of the narrative for this tournament. Was Danielson, can he get one last run and possibly win the title on his way out on one last run, or whatever you want to call it? Like, yeah, that was the story of the tournament until this guy showed up, who had the hot feud a year ago with the guy that's a champion. That, you gotta admit, that is obviously we could either or is good, but like, let's not act like this guy all of a sudden had nothing going for him except for just the second best wrestling match guide in the year 2024 so far. Like, what are we doing? Is this where the best wrestler or not? Because Hangman Page and Danielson are two of the best. If you just miss one of them over the other one, what are we doing? These are both good options.
I don't know,
no,
man. It just feels.
After you just said this, he's the second best wrestler in the world, the answer is no, it's not a good option. Danielson's not a good option. After you said the second best wrestler in the world, what are we doing?
Yeah, because
okay, thank you.
The reason why it's not as good of an option is because they don't have to. All they have to do is roll the ball out for Swerve and Hangman. The gas is already lit. The parties that we're walking in at the club at 1 a.m. at prime time right now with Swerve and Hangman. We are going in before while people are still allowed to get in free with Danielson and Swerve. We're gonna have to wait all night for that thing to get going. This shit is ready to go now. The gas is cooking right now with Swerve and Hangman. The people are ready. They're chanting for it. This nigga's promos are lighting up the internet right now.
So my question for you would be, after what we just saw between Mercedes Moné and Britt Baker, like, to think that like you can't just heat something up between Swerve and Danielson, like, I'm not buying it. You can easily do that. Now, are you saying, like, because of the history, you got to go with the match? Okay, fine. I'm not saying you got to go one or the other. I'm just saying, for me personally, I think Hangman building up momentum to make it actually feel like an actual threat to win the match, I feel like that's more earned than he gets this thing after winning 2 matches. He gets to the match, it's like, oh, Swerve's going to beat him. But I feel like it's a layup for Swerve if that happens.
But the work has already been done. The work is not starting for Hangman in this tournament. The work has already been starting. They sent that man on suspension away as a design to bring him back because of said personal issue. He could not be around. So,
well, in kayfabe, it's because he beat up a ref. That's good enough.
Yeah.
And it's friendship picks now in kayfabe.
But yeah.
But my thing is, he just came back. The guys. I just like, my mom is like, AEW don't function that way where you leave for fucking months and you go and then you win 3 matches and you win the title. That's not like, except for one fucking guy ever, and he's in WWE now. Like, in my mind, is like, that's not how this works. And I was like, so in my mind, I'm like, okay, you give him the match. It's like, in my mind, I'm like, I'm never biting for a near fall Hangman has in that match. I'm just not. For me personally, watch too much wrestling. Sorry, I'm just a dated wrestling fan, but like, so that doesn't intrigue me in that way.
But Danielson has lost every big match this year up until the tournament. So how do you believe in him?
Well, should I say it? Thank you. So I can't say it that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing?
No, but I'm saying, like, if you were watching this, right, and you had pretend we have no knowledge.
You can't even say that because you can't even say that because now we can't.
No, I'm saying this thing's up in the air. Like, this thing is completely up in the air.
Okay.
Like, at one point, I was convinced this was the Bryan Danielson walkover tournament, whatever. Like, everyone's going to lay down and shit between Wednesday, Saturday, and Monday. Shit is in the air right now. Like,
so my response,
shit's being evaluated. Conversations are being had.
Okay, so my response to that will be, without really getting into it, is like, hey, like, after seeing what they did for Sting, I could buy it. Like, after all this time of probably Tony Khan being like, please be Dragon. Please be champion. He'd be like, nah, I don't believe in it. He'd be like, look, man, you on your way out. You putting this fucking belt around your waist, or there will be discussions being had about, like, we need, just for the history of the promotion, it makes no sense for you to have done what you've done in this promotion in front of the camera, behind the camera, and then you never win a title. That's a real, both of them are real threats, but, like, I'm willing to buy the Danielson threat if he actually gets the match at Wembley. Because if you say, like, all right, well, Tony Khan, what kind of booker Tony Khan? He's a happy endings booker. What's a happier ending? The evil motherfucker returning to beat the babyface, or the guy, or the fucking legend getting his one last ride in the sun? I would pick Danielson just off the fact that I know what the history of the booker is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Before we get into the other stuff that we may or may not know.
Yeah. Face versus face. They gotta figure that out. I don't know, man. It's either way.
Look,
like, ultimately,
if Hangman were to get in the match, people know the person you're supposed to cheer is Swerve. The person you're supposed to boo is Hangman. Hangman's going to get cheered regardless too, because he's that talented of an act and has that kind of history in connection with the fan base, where you're going to get dueling chance of Swerve and Hangman.
Yeah,
I don't necessarily know if that is that important to it as far as the dueling or the babyface thing, because, like, the crowd's gonna be 50-50 regardless of Wembley.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to this match, though. Danielson and Hangman, they've never missed. The match they had, thinking back to the Wangman match, title match that they had. Yeah, the hour-long match they had, which was the draw to Wangman match, the first Dynamite on TBS, and also in the tournament where they had that match. So I don't think they've ever come in at under 4.5. So look forward to it.
Yeah. Trying to think. What was the tournament match for?
That was in the that was post Brawl Out after CM Punk got stripped.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. I don't remember that match. But I remember the first two, and they were fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, I think he won that one with an O'Connor roll, I believe.
Okay.
But yeah, man, between that, and setting up like Swerve returns next week. So I would imagine that he'll probably come out to go face to face with whoever wins or whatever the fuck happens, because even if say Danielson wins, he goes face to face with Danielson, Heyman's going to stand up and see Swerve and like charge him, I'd imagine, right? Like, so they still going to fight. But yeah, so I don't know which way it's going to go, and I'm actually kind of excited about that. So yeah, man.
I mean, we got great options for all the stuff, because it's like,
oh yeah, Double J's the Enforcer also for the final. So he's going to play into this somehow, but I don't know yet, because like
that's another part of the math that I had forgot about why I originally felt that way. It was like, Jarrett's going to do some shit. It's going to fuck something up. And like, Heyman might retire that man because he cost him. And I was like, that's also part of where I was like, I'm thinking Danielson is still going to win this shit.
Yeah.
We'll
yeah.
It could be he tries to stop Hangman or whatever else, and then like it ends up costing Danielson.
I think at this point I'm ready to put Double J in the Blood and Guts match.
Oh God, no! For what? Just to bleed?
Absolutely. Run the razor, baby. Bro, Blood and Guts is in Nashville, Tennessee.
What team is he on?
He'd be on Team AEW. He's in Nashville, Tennessee. He's in Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay. Hold on. So if he's on Team AEW, that screen. If you're booking this, how is he on Team AEW and Heyman's not on Team Elite as a fifth person to try to fucking murder him again?
I think he is on Team Elite.
Okay. So,
he's a fifth man. Yeah.
So in this situation, you have
I know he said that,
winning the match and also getting in Blood and Guts to get his hands on Swerve in Jarrett.
Either way.
But you know what I'm saying? Like if you have Swerve and Jarrett in Team AEW, wouldn't it make more sense for Hangman to want to fucking kill both of them because he lost? Or no? Or it doesn't matter? That's relevant to you.
No, don't matter, because they already done started it, because he eliminated him from the tournament. He had to see him on Collision already. I think they're still trying to figure out the Blood and Guts teams. So just a hunch on that. But yeah, like there's a Swerve mentioned wanting to be on Team AEW before, so like I think all the same characters are going to end up in the match somehow anyway. I just don't know how the dominoes are going to fall. So
how do we get Hangman to bash Jarrett's fuck ass with a guitar? I want to let Blood and Guts be his last match, Jeff Jarrett's last match, and then go cross that man head with a fucking guitar. Yeah, put the nylon through his dome. Yes, that's what I want to see. Yeah. If you gonna sacrifice a quality spot for some nonsense, you may as well just go ahead and wear him out.
Love it. Well, yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
All right. Thanks for listening, y'all. That's the end of the show. Be sure to rate us on whatever app you're using to listen to this with. If you are watching from the live stream, you can go to our show notes and you can find the red circle link there, and you can donate there. And listen to other shows on the network besides One Nation Radio. You have Keepin It Strong Style. You have Trish in the Trish and Sarah Wrestling Podcast. You have Tunnel Talk. You have Russell Art with Chris Things. You have M's WWE Adventure. You have All Things Elite. Thanks for listening, y'all. Later.
Go to OneLifetimeWorldwide.com and get your merch. Shout out my man Frank.
Yep. Later, y'all.
Peace.